Welcome to Wednesday Comics.
Brought to you by rootsoftheswampthing.com and SuperCon 2018 Return of the Con.
Hey everyone, keep turning those pages.
Welcome to Wednesday Comics. To my right, we have Underdog himself, Alex. How you doing?
Hello everybody.
And across from me, Secret Agent Squirrel himself, Garrett. How you doing?
Hey man, I don't like that nickname.
Why not? You don't like Secret Agent Squirrel?
No, boring.
And here I am. I am Snagglepuss himself, Marvin. How you doing?
Stage left.
Stage 2, my exit stage left. This is Wednesday Comics podcast. I always want to say forecast. I always get it mixed up. Podcast.
Now you know how I feel when I end the show.
We review the books for the week. This week it is the week of Alex. What day was it?
27th of
February. We have some free talk up front. At the end, we have a little CBA where we'll talk about some random topics and let us know what you think about them or what we think about them. Not you. You can't talk to us live.
You can tell us after we've done it.
Yeah, you can. But first, just some random free talk. First, a little clarification, that DC news. So that news came from somebody who said they were at that press conference. And then afterwards, DC came out and said that person wasn't there. I don't know how they know, but whatever. But they're clarifying the Walmart books aren't ending. They're just making the Walmart books available everywhere. So that's the book. They're just going to expand that. So they're continuing those. They're going to make them available everywhere. And then the ones they've already done, they're going to collect and put those out everywhere too. That way you can get them at a comic shop if you want to. So, and they're going to put them in random stores too. So they said they want to get away from the direct market, which is time into the comic book shops a little bit. So they're looking to expand that into stores, but also making sure comic shops have it. So,
yeah, because that works when you see full stocks in Walmart everywhere.
And I say that
is that sarcasm?
The change in news doesn't change my feeling.
Yeah,
of not
I literally
it.
went and I saw they were like right next to a bunch of like clearance shit on the rack.
Well, at least you don't have to go there anymore. You can go to your comic shop and see them there.
True.
Batman, Superman. They're making a Swamp Thing one.
I just don't think I would ever get it just because of the other 80 pages of stuff I already have.
No.
Oh. The collected editions that will come out do not include the reprints, just the new stuff. So,
well, maybe I would look at that.
And another news: Suicide Squad 2. I hurt my knee. Will Smith announced he's not going to be part of it. He's too busy scheduling. Probably with that Bad Boys 3. They started filming that. And
I'm sure his priorities are to that way over Suicide Squad.
And YouTube star. So, you know what? Got to take care of that YouTube. And Genie. So, Alex, did you watch that Atlanta trailer?
No.
Oh, buddy. What did you saved yourself for seeing him as the Genie?
You've seen The Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah.
Just putting a face on a cloud of smoke, that's what the Genie looks like.
I look at YouTube and all I see is Genie blowing up everywhere. It's like, but I don't know. No, I've actually been watching the Lion King trailers more, and that hasn't changed anything. It's still singing the same song, and Simba's still looking sad when he's getting the dirt on his face. Sorry.
So he's going to be exiting Suicide Squad 2.
Stage left?
Stage left. And they already announced it's not a sequel. It's more of a reboot. They're trying to do a fresh new thing. James Gunn is set to write and direct. So by Will Smith leaving, that's a big good indicator, because last time we talked about this, I was like, so he's going to reboot it, but are they going to keep Will Smith? Or are they going to keep Harley Quinn in that? Or are they going to do like a soft reboot where those two find a new group of people? But it's starting to sound more and more like it's just going to be brand new, right?
Which I think is a good choice.
To start over and be like, there's a brand new Suicide Squad.
Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn and get a new
No,
Harley
she could
Quinn.
just not be in there.
I said just don't have her be on that team.
Because the Joker did break her out of jail at the end, so
True.
She could not be part of it. They did announce that Viola Davis as Amanda Connor will be back.
Waller.
What'd I say?
Connor.
Who's Amanda Connor? Oh, she's
yeah. Jimmy Palmiotti.
Amanda Waller, she'll be back, so there's the consistency. So I would imagine that means that she just puts a new team together, which is fine. I think it's fine. So do you think it'd be part of that team? I know we talked about it before, but
not recasting Deadshot then, right?
no, it just said he would be out. I would assume you just don't recast him.
Maybe bring him back for a third one or something?
We'll see when he has
I don't
time.
know.
He didn't say he wanted to do it. He just said that he didn't have time.
I think Deadshot's one of those essential members of the team, though.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
What about he could show up as the genie? What do you think about that?
Of course. Boom, I'm here. Holy crap.
Yeah, that genie is way more powerful than that job.
That is true. The whole team doesn't have to be there. He just has to show up. Where was he the last movie when they needed him?
I would hope that they get more people who don't have magic-based powers, and then also have a villain that is also like make it more grounded. That could be your grounded story, right? You don't need something big and
like who
bombastic for that.
though?
What, for the villain?
Yeah. No, I mean who for the team? Like I can't even.
So if you had a team of 5, even if we brought in like secret 6 characters, we could do Bane.
Yeah, Bane.
You could do King Shark.
I mean, then you'd have to do probably. Is it her name Okra, or what's the whale lady?
Oh, Orca.
Orca.
Why would you do Orca as the bad guy?
Or
as
as part of the Suicide Squad. That's all I'm talking about.
Well, that'd be neat.
I mean, I
to
don't
me
know.
that'd be neat. But or you could have Bane be the bad guy. Have him be,
But you need to fill this team first.
you know what? We can figure out the team later.
What's Orca's son's name?
Orca Jr.
Fish, shrimp.
Wasn't he in that Nightwing thing, or who was that? Guppy?
Oh,
no.
Guppy. Oh,
That wasn't her kid.
I mean,
wasn't.
at this rate, all we're going to get is fucking
King
Enchantress 4
Sturgeon's-
times over.
Oh, King Sturgeon's kid.
Yeah,
Sturgeon.
Sturgeon.
Guppy.
Has Black Manta
Guppy
ever
better show
been part of the Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Speaking of
Give
which,
him something to
so
do.
it could be, it's open up to anybody. But speaking of Black Manta, since you brought up Aquaman news, I don't know if you guys heard this. It's a little old news. It's about a month old,
Cheetah.
maybe 3 weeks. They announced they're going to do a spin-off of Aquaman. Not only Aquaman 2, but they're going to do a spin-off. What's it going to be about? Do you think, Aaron?
The Trench. is
The
what they
Trench,
call it.
yeah.
I know. Which is stupid because I didn't even. Okay.
A 5-minute
I
part
don't want
of
to
the
spoil
movie.
this for
I
you.
don't care. I already saw the cover
So
for the movie.
Aquaman, okay, this is the dumb part. You know how the New 52 arc about the Trench is that they're like this huge, like fucked up creatures that eat everybody and whatever. Oh no, in the Aquaman movie, this is one part that I just like cringed. He's controlling the Trench.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, it's fucked
Wait,
up.
who's he? Aquaman? Bullshit.
Yeah, I know. You like
Bullshit.
Once
That's
he gets
stupid.
to wear King Orm's
Once he's the king, he unites the kingdoms.
Yeah, but they
with
don't.
the Trench, the Trench
but
is
they
like
didn't
this
speak
fucking.
to
They
him.
explain in the movie that they used to be Atlanteans too, but then they became corrupt and lived on the Trench, so that's why.
and they turned into fish people?
yeah.
Oh, look at that evolution.
So the movie, the spin-off's going to be about that. So
I don't think. I think.
What a way to
they're-
take your greatest movie that's come out and that's rebirthed everything for you and then be like, hey, let's make it great and then make it stupid.
I think that's such a reach. Like, I don't think the Trench spinoff is a good idea at all.
I think maybe instead of they always get too excited.
Yeah.
Like Aquaman's doing good. Like, oh, let's do some spin-offs. And it's like, how about you focus on these Bane movies first?
Right.
Get a nice base, and then we can start doing about spin-offs. Because that's what they did with Suicide Squad. That made a lot of money. They're like, okay, Harley Joker movie, and the aforementioned, that was before the show, Birds of Prey. But at least that's getting made at least. And when Batman vs. Superman came out, that's when they were like, oh, we're going to do all this stuff. Green Lantern, Justice League, where Green Lantern was supposed to be in it. He was in the trailer. And then afterwards, since the whole thing failed, they just scrapped that altogether, part of that story. So that's not part of it. I think they just need to figure out, like, do Aquaman 1 and 2, do Wonder Woman 1 and 2, or I guess it's called 1984, right?
Yep.
And make a Batman movie finally come out, and with this universe, figure out what you're doing with Superman. And then
Henry Cavill's just lifting every day. Like, what the fuck am I doing?
They don't know what they want to do for Superman yet, but yet I'm getting a Trench movie.
Well, even if nothing else, do the Aquaman, the Wonder Woman, make those your quote unquote Trinity for the time being. Then Superman can show up in your first Justice League or Team of Heroes or Batman and his friends movie or whatever you want to do.
Whatever they're doing right now, they need to have their endgame be the fucking Flashpoint movie. Retcon fucking everything. And you say you give each person like an 8-movie contract. Like, do you want to be fucking Superman for the next 20 years?
What's the deal with that Flash movie? That's on hold too now?
Yeah, well, Ezra Miller said, it's kind of being back to being a rewrite or whatever. And I'm like, guys, if you want to have a connected universe, which it seems like DC right now, they don't.
They don't. They say they came out and said that they're going
Yeah.
to focus on
Individual
movies and not be concerned about connecting the universe together.
Right. But I mean, I
Which is
still
fine.
think
That's
Aquaman was good.
because they missed the ball on already doing
Yeah,
that.
I know.
I still think Flashpoint is necessary because how are you going to write out Ben Affleck as Batman? Or are you just going to do the whole
I don't think
Dark
so.
Knight trilogy where it's like, hey, guess what? This is Rachel.
They'll just do a flashback movie with Batman's younger, and then that'll be the guy who when he's older too. Gotcha. Superman 2.
This all sounds
Convoluted.
horrible.
Superman shows up and they race CGI his face in one movie. So in the second movie, who knows? It looks better than CGI. So there we go.
Wow. Yeah, we need another Superman movie. Like, I
I'm
think get this universe started with
Next time let him
Superman.
keep his mustache.
I'm just curious, since Green Lantern was supposed to be in Justice League, was he cast? Or was this going to just be like a CGI Hal Jordan?
Dude, I bet he was cast.
So
He
who
had
was
to
that?
be.
So like, that's the movie I'm most excited for. But I don't know, like that movie is still like 2021, I think, is when they're coming out with that. But still, yeah, focus. We don't need a trench movie.
Did anyone see Idris Elba on set? I'm kidding. I have nothing.
We don't need a trench movie. Trench movie, first off, is nobody's
Waste.
excited for a trench movie. A. And then B, you think the general public's going to be like, yeah, let me go see the trench.
No, I haven't seen Aquaman the first movie. If you could do a trench movie, but that just needs to be Aquaman 2.
Yeah,
And,
right.
and not don't do a side mission of it. Just let it be. Okay, this is Aquaman 2. Instead of we let you guys think that Aquaman can talk to these guys and can control them. Turns out that was bullshit. Although I guess Aquaman really can attack humans and he can give them splitting headaches. So I guess maybe it's viable. DC dropped the ball. Don't care anymore.
Shut up. You do
Too late. Don't care.
Dude, when they got a new-
I haven't seen Aquaman, so I don't care.
Okay, well, you usually don't see movies in theaters anymore. You wait till they come out.
I'm seeing a movie this week with you guys.
Well,
So there.
because you've seen
Shut
the
your
first,
face.
you've seen the first 20 that way, so you might as well watch the last two.
He's
that
not
way.
That's
Justice League
bullshit
with
'cause I missed out on the other one.
Didn't you see Justice League with us? Yeah, so he's seen them all
Yeah.
except for Aquaman.
Yeah.
And that was because that was
Oh, you
over,
meant DC movies.
No, I meant even Avengers.
Okay.
I was making
that was over Christmas. The guy was busy. Yeah, free talk.
Yeah. I don't know who's doing what.
We have some more movie discussion at the end if you're interested. Also, some comic discussion at the end on our Comic Book Association talk. But first, up front here, and I'm going to call an audible because we didn't pick our books again.
Nope.
But I'm going to call an audible and pick the two with Captain America. Captain America number 8. Is it 8?
yes.
Yes, that's TC Coates. And
Sorry, I'm laughing at Garrett's face.
TC Coates and Andy Kubert.
Sure.
I have it right here. Let me
Why don't you pull it up and tell us, bro?
Here we go. Here we go. This is the Captain America next issue where we see Adam Kubert. Excuse me. And in this issue, a couple things happen here. Couple things happen in this issue, which I'm curious to get you guys' take on. First, we see Steve Rogers is in jail. Kingpin set him up somehow. And we also see Hydra Cap for the first time in a while. So we actually do see him. When did he get that tattoo in his chest? Is that in the prison, or did he get that before? I don't remember
I
that.
feel like that's a burn tattoo.
You think
I
so?
mean, it's pretty insane. But going back to that, I got to laugh in the description where they're saying this evil supreme leader was just wearing Cap's face. And I'm like, no. Correction. That is fucking Captain America. This is a clone.
Yeah, that's actually Steve Rogers, which I'm going to jump right to the end. Mm-hmm. So at the end, we see that he broke out with, I forgot what her name is, but it was a trap to set him up. And then at the end, they either kill him or change how he looks. I don't know. But I guess that is how they're going to get past that, where people don't compare them anymore.
Right.
He's now deformed and a bad guy.
That's not what we
Holy
want.
shit. Hang on. Did I read this thing? Is this Captain or is this Supreme Hydra? It's Captain in jail.
Yeah.
Okay. Not Supreme. Not
No, they're
Hydra
both
Supreme.
in jail. The other one, too, is Steve Rogers. And then one of them is the Hydra Cap. But Hydra Cap is like in solitary.
Is he the one who's working out all the time?
Yeah. And then the one that's in the lunchroom, all that stuff, that's Steve Rogers. Yeah, it's very confusing.
Holy shit. I need to reread this book then because it didn't even occur to me that we were in Supreme Hydra's
But
zone.
here's what I'm thinking, though, is that once again, Hydra Cap's going to get out and take over for Captain America, but it's
Yeah.
just going to be that they're both around, and then Captain America needs to go fight Evil Cap. Once he defeats Evil Cap, it'll be like, ha, see? I'm good.
Because Alex, at the beginning, he's working out.
Yep, and
So he's
I-
in this glass thing. And then later on, he's like in solitary. But then later on, when they're in the lunchroom, that's Steve, because somebody says that he murdered somebody. Or is it at? I forget what it says, but he's like, he talks about, hey, oh yeah, and what about the people you killed, Rogers? You think we've forgotten?
Because that's when he's
And
talking
he
to
goes,
Wrecker and he's
I
talking
didn't kill
Bulldoze,
Ross.
right?
He goes, I didn't kill Ross. Yeah, so they're both in there.
Okay.
But when he's with everybody, that's
when he's in the orange suit, it's Steve.
Steve Rogers, real guy. The other one's Hydra.
That's Captain, and
Yeah.
then the other one's Supreme
Hydra basically is in solitary until that lady breaks him out.
Okay, I had missed that because I thought, why the hell is he working out all the time? Man, he's already ripped. Why is he doing
And
that?
then
giant-ass Hydra tattoo,
at the end
too,
here, I don't
on
know
his
if he's
chest.
getting melted or getting transformed into some sort of monster. But all right, he does. He tries to kick her. Can't. She's too fast though. Adios. So
Wait, isn't that?
I thought that was a thing that they. Oh,
no,
Hold on, let me see that.
it is. Look at here's Steve trying to fight her off the Hydra cap.
Oh,
He kicks her and she holds onto his leg, and she transforms him into this thing. So Hell
Oh,
Hydra,
yeah.
immortal.
yeah, pretty messed
So
up.
that's what I mean. Now he's not. He doesn't look like Steve anymore. So that's the way they get past it. No more Hydra cap.
I don't remember. I mean, I read this book. I mean, I guess it's been a handful of days. I don't remember any of that happening.
I remember it. I just, again, it goes back to they never should have just that whole event where evil Cap versus regular Cap. It should have been Cap fighting himself in his own brain. He beats evil Cap, comes back, and then boom, no fucking extra.
Okay.
So I don't know. I thought the art was great. Art's always been great.
I mean, I like the issue, but you can
Yeah.
certainly tell that DC Coast is just trying to figure out what to do with this situation. Like
right. You gotta
he's obviously-
wrap it up.
he
It's gonna fucking
picked up
ruin
the
book.
ball from this story, and so he's been trying to figure out since issue 1 how to address this in a certain way that. I mean, we've basically had this story. It's been the story since issue 1 where he's like, I'm not that person anymore. And they even touch on it a little bit in this when Kingpin's like, I guarantee you the American public trust me more than they do you right now. And so I know the route that we're taking, but to make that Steve Rogers into whatever this is, and who knows, maybe he'll be able to look like Steve again after this. I don't know what they're doing there, if he's just being infused with some sort of power or whatever. But I want to see. I was excited until that part because if he actually broke out and was in charge, I was curious to see the Hydra Steve versus the Captain America Steve Rogers, and have Tennessee actually use that as a story to see like what's the difference between the two, what does it mean to be Captain America, and what happens when somebody loses their way like that. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of good ways it could have went. Now I'm not sure where it's going to go, but I'll trust him. Like, he's been good the 7 issues.
I trust him
leading up to
too, but I'm not really looking forward to seeing Captain America versus the Behemoth. Like, I'd like to see.
Captain
I think
versus-
it would have been more fun to have like a cunning, evil Captain America versus actual Captain America. Now it's like Hulk versus Cap. You know, it's like some big monster.
I want to. I guess I'm. I think I'm on the same boat with you guys. I want the Mr. Joshua versus Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon, where everyone just stands back. Murtaugh tells them, "Hey, let them fight it out, and we'll see who wins." That's what this fight needed to be: is an all-out fight where finally Steve Rogers, Captain America, gets evil Cap in a leg lock, and everyone's saying, "Break his bleeping neck." And it's like, no, that's not the Captain way, and lets him go.
Right. I would give it a 7.
I'm going to have to give it a 7 because I don't remember reading this issue. I read it, but I don't remember the deformation. I remember them talking to Steve in prison.
I give it a 9. I liked it a lot. There's something about superheroes in jail. I like those kind of stories. I don't know what it is.
Conveniently, right after Oliver Queen is out of jail
Maybe.
in DC.
Maybe because he's in there with everybody's locked up and he teams up with, who was it? Crusher? No.
He's talking to Crusher. He talks to Bulldozer. He
Yeah.
talks to the Wreckers.
And there's some Baron Strucker. Is that in this or Invaders? I'm not sure.
I think he was in this one. I think.
It's very
Maybe
confusing.
we
It
shouldn't
is in
read two
this.
Captain America.
I'm pretty
books,
sure it's
so-
in this book, Baron Strucker, which is good because I like him as a character. So that also made me excited. So there's a lot of good stuff here for future stories. This issue was more like setting up for all that stuff. So
Hey, didn't they touch on like at least one page about the Red Skull and his
Yeah.
lady? There was like a page of like he's clearly focusing on his upcoming
No,
forwarding of Cap.
I don't know if it was Red Skull. I know Baron Strucker.
Well, when the lady's like, "Hey, take your clothes off," and he's like, "No, I'm putting my clothes on," or something like that. I was like, "What?
Take your clothes off. No, I'm putting them back on.
I'm too busy right now."
Yeah, Baron Strucker's in this issue. Okay. A few months. All right. By the way, this Cap, like if he did come out, he's got a 5 o'clock shadow. His hair's all slicked back. And the other one, the real Captain America, I'll say. Real, in quotations. His hair is more spiked, and he's clean-shaven. That's how you tell the difference.
Wait, the real Cap? You mean the one that wasn't Hydra?
We're talking
The
about...
clone? No, let's call him Evil Cap and Clone Cap.
I mean, we talked about this
Both
already.
sound bad guys.
What makes him Captain America? It's what's inside.
I'm actually being Captain America. I think that's what makes him Captain America.
You're talking about Steve Rogers. That's a different situation. He actually it doesn't matter who
Well, if
puts
it's
on the
actually
mask.
Steve Rogers, then
He's that
that's
guy.
Hydra Captain America.
Yeah, we'll agree with that one. This guy's a dream.
The other guy is like a fucking replicant with a dot on her. eye.
I like that a lot.
Mm.
I like that a lot. I was just going to say that the Adam Cube art was great, but I do prefer,
Little Francis Yu.
yeah. But also, like, I like Adam Kubert's art. There's something about it, though, it's a little sketchy. And I don't know if it fit this issue specifically, because there wasn't really anything that needed that kind of style. It was a lot of static panels. I didn't like his panel work in this issue, but the art was okay. So that's why it's a 9. Otherwise, I liked it.
Okay.
I really liked this issue.
Well, my excuse of not remembering what I read, that's the only thing. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have liked it
so much
more,
for Steel Trap, more like old man losing his mind.
Papa's been busy.
What do you have?
Black Panther #9, guessed by Ta-Nehisi Coates and Kev Walker on art. For the reason I thought we were down in Atlantis, and that's not the case. We're still in intergalactic
Dude, that's
space.
Invaders.
I know.
Too many Marvel books.
I know that. Okay, so my fault.
And with the same characters.
I made the list, not thinking about it, going, "Oh yeah, Captain, shit, Black Panther. Oh, Namor could be in this book." No, it's not. Anyway, we're on an intergalactic water planet, right? And first things first, before I even get into the story, because let's face it, there's only one thing I remember from this book, and it's the cover was scary as shit. And as I went to go get started on this book, I was like, I don't know if I really want to turn the page. What if there's a big eel god monster on this and it scares me? For the record, I don't like big water things. Not animals, but just like open oceans scare me. I think you've heard it on the show before. Just reiterating for you so you know. Secondly, I'm not a big fan of Kev Walker art.
No, Kev Walker's art really was not. I thought, because he was the artist in the last book, right?
Yeah, the last issue was great.
Yeah, but I was still Kev Walker.
And that's the thing is that the last issue I liked.
But
and it
maybe
Kev
he was
Walker.
wearing his armor a lot more. Like this one, I agree. I thought, like, I was so distracted by the art. I was like, why does this just not look good? It doesn't flow well. And, like, the faces look blocky and smushed. Like
It looked more cartoony than I'm used to, and it's not even with the Acuna art to begin with. That first arc of this book was amazing. We got into that second where every artist has kind of changed, and it's been really good. This one was probably one of the weakest books I'd read by Black Panther, just for the fact that the art really kind of took me out of it. And then even on this, are we on another planet?
I believe
As we're
so.
talking to water people.
Yeah, I believe there's another planet.
Mermen. I don't know.
I didn't think the story was that great either. Like, I mean, he gets taken captive again, and then some dude says, "Hey, I have your spear,"
Hey.
and then he's like, "I'll let you out." He's like, "Okay," gets the spear. "Oh, I'm gonna kill you." He's like, "Dude, I just let you out of prison." He's like, "Oh,
you're right,
yeah,
that is in bad taste.
Oh, right. And he like, there's always this like subtext that they know who each other are.
Do you think that's the trench around that cover?
Well, that's kind of what it looked like. It looked like the trench, looked like Leviathan Rising, literally chasing him. But then we find out that these mer people came from, there were gods, and I don't remember what they were called, but these water sea creature gods that were so beautiful. And then this other clan came, and was it Killmonger's crew came and killed all
They
them?
came, yep.
They came and killed all the gods except for the one that lives in the trench.
Yeah.
And I believe is in hiding. She's the last of her species. We need you to team up with her.
I thought this book was a lot of, honestly, filler. Like, I think coming off, like, I thought last issue was amazing with the, Black Panther on the ship. And then this was like, hey, to really put it in there, we're combining forces with other people to take on Killmonger. It's like, why don't you just go fight Killmonger?
Yeah.
I get it. You need exposition in a story, but this was just kind of like, wait, we have our big boss battle, but we have the side mission. And
this is a story it's been from the beginning.
Huh?
Manifold.
With this Manifold?
No, I know. And I
Yeah.
agree that he is part of the teleportation that is for Killmonger's team, right?
Yeah.
So I know we're still getting into it, and like Garrett
but
said, it's
90% of
a
it
team.
is like
It's the Fellowship of the Ring. Now we're getting the rest of the crew to come together. That even though we will eventually split up, because
right. Like, I don't know. I was just kind of disappointed in this issue. I didn't think it was bad. Just art wasn't there, and story, a lot of it, I was just kind of like, cool.
Oh, I like the art in this one, Kev Walker. But then again, I like Kev Walker. So,
but
we
he-
liked him last
we
issue.
say we liked
It's
the
just
last
this
issue with
is
Kev
just
Walker.
Weird.
But I think last issue I even liked the writing more. Is that I liked the character building that we had from T'Challa, where he, even though he was told, no, we're not going to save the ship, he's like, screw you guys, I'm saving these kids, I'm saving these people, they don't deserve to have this life.
that
And
was
so
the last issue?
So he goes
Yeah.
on a
That
killing.
seems like 5 years ago.
So he goes on a killing spree of killing all these evil pirates.
Well, maybe this issue could never live up to that one, I think, too. Like, that one was so great. That's probably, like, the most perfect Black Panther comic I've ever read. Whereas this was like, okay. Like, I don't know what needs to happen next, but...
I liked it. I mean, there was really no plot progression, but it was really like one scene. It was more establishing this new group, but I mean,
But I don't. It's just one of those things that it didn't feel like this issue needed to be the establishment of this group. That could have been a quick. We met the mermen on this planet. Okay, now we're going into this.
when you
next
know about
thing.
their history, Manifold has been attacking them, and
Could have spent 10
he's
pages
trying to
on that.
figure out. Black Panther's trying to figure out maybe he's on the wrong side of things. So,
Bro, don't go to Killmonger. Actually, you know what? Go to Killmonger's side. That sounds like
the
fun.
dude still doesn't know who he is. Remember that. He had no memory.
But I know who you are, so you need to figure it out.
He's stepping up, but he doesn't
Maybe they need
remember
to
all
get
of the
their
past stuff.
memories back. Like, I think that's been the plan. Like, do that thing first.
You know what I find weird though, and it's just because that's the way comic books are. This is like what part 9 or something like that
Yeah.
of this arc. I've never seen, at least in Marvel recent day comics, an arc that long. So I think that's part of it being like, yeah, book 2, The Gathering of My Name, issue 9. So they're all still part of the same overarching story, which is fine. I feel like this reads better in trade. But also, I did enjoy this issue still. But I mean, like, these kind of issues where we have a whole issue establishing this wouldn't come up if you were reading the next one right afterwards. So.
Well, and I suppose you're right that I'm having the issue of the last issue we read was great. So then I had a month and a half to wait until this one came out.
Yeah,
and
that's
now,
what it is.
And now the excitement and the build up that I have from the first one doesn't carry over to this one because I had to wait so long, and now I'm saddened by what I've read.
And I enjoyed it because I understand that I'm above you guys, so that's why.
Well,
Or did
luckily
you,
he already
or did
forgot
you
what
catch
issue
up on a
8
lot
was
of
about.
issues?
No, I just read that one
Oh.
because I read that one. We
I forgot
reviewed
what
that
issue
one.
8 was about and how great it was, and I was like, oh, that's why oh man, that was a good issue way back
We
when.
reviewed that one, so I did read it. I was caught up. So
I'm
Yeah,
giving this one a 7.
8
7 as well.
strong 8. When I say 8, I mean strong.
Decent 7.
It could push to a 9 maybe.
I'm on the boat with Garrett. This is a 7. It was
Strong
good,
8.
but it didn't live up to my expectations. I'm hoping that we start building up into the main story, or I think we're going to have no choice because Manifold just showed up and he's going to start beating the shit out of everybody. Bring it, bro.
Strong 8.
I just think with Black Panther from last issue, we're at a point where there are no half measures. Like, Black Panther doesn't back down. He keeps going forward. So I want to see that. I want to see that.
Strong 8.
Strong 8. I'm with the general consensus that Black Panther is a good character. 3 Oscar wins. First
has
time
nothing to
for
do with this
superhero
comic.
movie.
Yes, I don't think
You
you know.
guys are in the past. I'm living in the future, baby. Just like
That's what Black Panther
right
should be doing. But he's like,
And this
but I have a
sci-fi.
spear. But I have
me
this.
throw it.
That's
It's not
my
a real.
spear.
It's not a real spear, though.
It's
a cosmic
mind
spear.
Yeah, cosmic spear. So that is the future.
Well, he says that's my spear.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it is the spear.
And
He says you can't. Don't you remember the issue where he grabbed it? The only person who can wield that spear is the chosen
man.
one.
okay, and then riddle me this. Now, how come that fucking dude that lets him out is holding his spear for 5 seconds?
It's not glowing, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's glowing.
No.
I swear to God, look it up.
I looked it up already.
Is it
wasn't
pink?
glowing. No, it was black. So
And say if it's glowing, then
Okay, maybe it
then
wasn't
he's
glowing,
using-
but just because the spear is not glowing, that's still wielding it. So
think
that guy
he does
was
have a
no
point.
king.
don't you guys look at this action scene? You guys don't like this art?
I didn't even see it.
I mean, I could make one out of Play-Doh and it looked just as good, but
It was fine. This is just. I think a part is that issue 6 is a Bartel who does the art for. That was still
You
my
guys-
favorite issue of this run.
what's this you guys?
You just-
Because most of it,
You hate
Yeah.
it.
he's
You
talking
give,
down to
you
us
give
like
it this bad 7. I'm a strong 8, close to 9.
bad
that.
7.
You know, it was a decent 7. Now it's starting to hit bad 7 because
That's what I'm saying.
keep talking.
You guys are about 7.0, 7.1.
It's about to be a great 6.
Garrett, what else we get?
Next, we're on to Black Hammer.
Right.
Number
Age of
8,
Doom.
Age of Doom, written by Jeff Lemire and art by Dean Ormstrom.
And colors by Dave Stewart.
Yes, that thing that we don't talk about in any other book.
What do you do? Jordy Belair?
Sometimes.
Only if we know who it is.
Dave
Yeah.
Stewart. You
It's
know
Holly-
Dave Stewart?
No, I know who Stewart is.
I believe it's pronounced Dav.
Jeez. The last few issues we had were by somebody else, artist wise. It was a little backstory.
Who's the who's
Strange.
the artist of?
Russo?
Yeah, there you go.
So this issue kind of get a little reboot, sort of, not really. I mean, it's like all their minds are like
Well, it's just
it's like an alternate universe almost.
it's what they think is the right where they are right now. When we find out as the reader, we know that's not correct.
Right.
Lucy's not back in Chicago. They in Chicago, Marvin.
Yes.
So
They're
Spiral
basically.
City.
I
No,
feel
yes,
like
they're in their own city, yeah.
Isn't Colonel Weird and Madame Dragonfly? Didn't they put them in a new thing now?
So when they got out of the ship, did they leave the ship? No, because they found out where they were,
Right.
and they all were. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. Because you know the one thing this
I read 6 or 8 back to back. I got it all together here.
All
They,
right, explain it to us.
Sergeant or Colonel Weird brought them to the whatever that was called, the in-between shit. They were on this planet. The anti-god
remember it
showed up, and he said, "I can save you if really want." Some guy got touched and disappeared. But when he went back to the ship, he woke up and they weren't there. Cut to this issue. Now it seems like they're back in what's it called
Spiral City.
Spiral City, but he's not there, and they don't remember anything.
But it's Abe,
Abe,
Martian Manhunter,
no,
Barbarian.
Mark Marks,
Barbarian.
no, Mark Marks.
Yes,
That's his alien.
Sorry, Mark Marks is on Mars.
Mars.
He's on Mars.
Well,
So-
we don't know for sure if this
He's
is
on
real.
another. He's on another planet.
Yes,
No
where-
Golden Gale, just those 3, I think.
Yep. And then and Lucy.
Maybe do we get a little talkie-walkie?
yeah, Talkie-walkie
she
at
was
the end.
the surprise at the end because someone is trying to contact Lucy, telling her, "I know your father." But as we in this story find out, her father was a cop, and he
Yeah.
died as a police officer,
Mhm.
not as Black Hammer.
See, that's what I'm saying. Some alternate reality bullshit.
Yeah.
So they're
I
trying
mean-
to make everyone live this life that they may have had.
So, you know what's curious to me, and I like this issue, but what's curious to me is that we thought we had all the answers, and did Jeff Winter post his bullshit, and all of a sudden now I don't know what's going on again.
But he pulled the bullshit
Not
after
bullshit.
just pulling the bullshit 2 issues ago.
I'm saying it's cool. I mean, it's
No,
cool.
I know
that he's
it
just
is.
Like,
But
he
it
figures
is-
out a way to be like, oh, you think you understand what's going on? Fuck you. Here
I
you
I
go.
say
like,
we were let down by
not.
issue 5, going, "Oh wow, this really just kind of wrapped everything up." Then we went into those 2 issues with Colonel Weird talking to anthropomorphic buzzfly bee people.
Hold
and
up.
duck.
You're talking about Inspector Insect.
Boom, that's the one. Wears a hat, a fedora type of thing.
Yeah.
Is it a fedora? No.
Yeah, Fedora, I think.
Sure.
Whatever, a
Whatever.
hat.
Anyway, he's an inspector.
What kind of bug was he, though? Bee?
Looked like a wasp.
A wasp? Is that an insect?
That is an insect.
That's an arachnid.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. Not
Nope,
even
it's an
close.
insect.
Now, spiders and wasp are the same thing.
Nope, they're
Look
not.
them up.
Nope, they're not.
Missing a couple
This
legs.
hurts
there.
my, this
It
hurts
had,
my
no,
head.
those are hidden.
Oh.
Anyway, so then we had
pulled out.
those 2 filler, not filler, but other issues, and they were funky. And then you get back into the story, and I mean, I love this issue. I was excited to get back into this. There's all these characters that I know and love who aren't who I know and love. Then you finally get the reveal of Talkie-walkie, and she goes, "Oh, I know your father." What?
So yeah, I feel that
And then in the background,
This-
there were some newspaper things showing that he might know more. Like, he might be
Right.
aware of what's going on. Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Who's he?
Talkie-walkie.
She's
a
a girl.
female.
Well, you don't know in this universe.
That's true. Could be a he. I think the characters were the same, and it kind of appeared like they were doing something that was parallel to what they would be as their superheroes or for their careers.
Well, Mark Marks was an exiled alien.
But he was a detective also.
Oh,
wasn't
well,
he?
that's right.
Yeah.
And was he always in a relationship?
I don't know.
I don't remember him
remember
telling
if
the
he was.
backstory saying that.
Okay, because in this one he is in a relationship.
But I don't know if he ever said his backstory on Mars. I think we just knew
Yeah.
him from the farm.
Okay,
This one's definitely just a character book because obviously it's not the same timeline or the same reality that we've been reading. So I did like it. I think this is the start of a new arc where it's like, what the fuck is going on?
I need to get more issues into this to find out where we're going. But I'm excited to see that this book isn't any time wrapping up, hopefully.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, no.
Maybe it could, but
Before it seemed like it could be.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no way.
no, there's too much good stuff going on. And Lucy does have that kind of doubt of what was going on. So I'm thinking, obviously these are the same characters that we already knew. It's just they're stuck somewhere else.
I think this issue definitely explains that the plot isn't what, like you're saying, is a character issue, and I think maybe that's why Jeff likes to play around with the plot like this, is because he's trying to be like, it's more about these characters, but definitely not ending anytime soon. I know, yeah, like you said, back in issue 5, like, oh, I guess this is done. No, I don't think so. I think we might get some more, like book 3 out of this thing when Age of Doom's
isn't
done.
it next week we have the Black Hammer of the Past coming out?
Yep, 1945.
1945. Yeah, so we'll see. This was about a 7 for me.
Well, this would be an 8. I liked it. I liked it enough because it brought
Strong
me back.
7 though. We could push it to an 8 if we need to.
I'm gonna go with a decent 7. That's kind of been my number today. It was good, but again, just wanting more.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. But it felt like we in the past already had a bunch of character stories, and then we got together. They were all part of the same story. Now we're fragmented again, which is fine. But I just want to see more. So strong 7. We can push it to an 8 if we need to.
Seven's a 7.
Invaders. What?
7 is the 7. We don't have 7.5s on the show.
No, we don't. But we have
7.
strong. We have okay. These are just.
Here's a shitty 7 for you.
Grade 6 gone.
Yeah. Wait, you don't like strong 7s?
What about poopy 5s?
Yeah, oh, jeez. Here we go. Let me get to the credit page on this baby. We have Invaders number 2. This is Chip Zdarsky and Carlos Mango with Butch Geis, colorist Alex Gimares. War Ghost Part 2. This is the Invaders, Human Torch, Captain America, Namor, the Winter Soldier Bucky, and also Namor's sidekick.
Mackin? Oh no, not as royal.
No, in
Royal
the past.
Vizier.
And also, I think in the past
Vizier?
we saw Human Torch's sidekick, Toto. Was he in the past in the first issue? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
We have this issue. So basically, we have flashbacks from 1944 to today. That's how, like, we have 2 stories going on. We have them as invaders, and you're basically seeing how Namor goes from being part of this hero team to slowly maybe being more in a gray area, being more of a villain, kind of. And then in the future, we have where he is straight up a villain, and it's Captain trying to bring him back to the good side. So it's kind of like Darth Vader in a way. We got episode.
Is he actually a bad guy in this though?
He's got a bomb. What are you talking about? He's going to kill some humans.
He's a bad guy.
I just don't
mad.
get why he's so pissed off.
Oh, it was in a different book.
I know it's in the
Avengers.
Avengers, but like I read that first issue of that, and it's like
It says Avengers like 4 or 5, so you got to go past that.
no, I did. I
Was it-
read up to like issue 14.
You said first.
And it was like, what? It was because of everything with the Illuminati and whatnot, and how he hates Black Panther.
No. The new Avengers
The newest
series
one that you were
with Jason
Yes,
Aaron.
I know. That's
That
what I'm
was-
explaining right now.
That wasn't the Illuminati. That's Jonathan Hickman's run.
Who was on the Illuminati?
Black Panther.
Thank you.
But
That's what I was
that's-
bringing up.
Doctor
But that's
Strange.
not what this issue is saying. It's saying Avengers number 8. It's talking about Jason Aaron's Avengers.
No, I know. Oh my
But
god.
he's still mad at Black Panther.
Yes. From that.
He doesn't talk about Black Panther in this book, does he?
No,
No,
in the
but
Avengers
his
book.
suggestion is that he's still mad at Black Panther.
What are you asking me?
I'm not asking
telling
you
you stuff.
anything. I'm trying to explain it to you, and you keep like, no, that's
I don't
Jonathan
understand what you're
Hickman's.
saying.
I'm
I
like,
wasn't confused when I
yes.
read this issue. Now you're confusing me.
Whatever.
Talking about Avengers from 4 years ago.
I just don't get why Namor is being so pissy.
Because it's
humans.
Namor. The dude fucking hates
Well,
everything.
it's like, maybe that's the thing is I'm not realizing that this character really is just a dick all the time. He's the me of their group apparently.
Mhm. Well, he is very upset. Whatever. We don't need to know why, I guess. Like
Good, I
all
wasn't going
plots.
to tell you.
But I did like how, Captain America goes to confront him, and it does kind of seem like, Luke talking to Darth Vader kind of way, where it's like, hey, man, like, I know you. except Luke didn't know his dad. But
Yeah. Is that how Luke went up to Vader? Hey, man.
hey, he did.
bro.
He's like, I know you're Anakin Skywalker, so
Hey,
suck
man.
that lightsaber.
He's dead.
Hey, man. I just got to let you know, dark side's not the way to go, man.
Yeah. But anyways, like it was pretty cool. Like there was a lot of suspense with that conversation between Cap and Namor. But again, it would be nice to know, especially for this book, why Namor is so fucking grumpy.
It tells you in here. I'm going to find it.
Fine, tell me then.
I'm sure we'll find out, or Marvin will tell us. But the fun thing about this was that Captain America literally went down there, one, to reach a peace or at least have a conversation with Namor, but it was also for Winter Soldier to get a hold of some intel for them, knowing that Namor really wasn't going to be a dick about it, and this wasn't going to turn out well. Then you get Namor coming back up to the surface, come to meet that family that Human Torch has been talking to,
right.
who then questioned, going, "Why is Xavier next to Namor? Is Namor a mutant?" And then Namor comes up. He's like, "Whoa, these people are finding out way too much information, even though that dude inside there dying, one of my besties."
Was it the end of the last issue where Namor went to the funeral, or was it this issue with the flashbacks?
I can't remember. I was going to ask Marvin
What?
that too.
Is the funeral in this one?
This one, yeah, it's in this
Oh,
one.
okay.
Okay.
I think the flashbacks, 10, 10, 10, 10,
Yes.
10.
Yes.
Everything that's kind of in the modern day, I'm like, it's okay. But those flashbacks are amazing. And I thought the story they told over the flashback was probably the best part of the series so far. Like, so
Well,
great.
And Captain talking to Namor in
I got
the
it.
past, going, "This is your friend. This is how humans would do it. We go to this." He goes, "I'm not human, am I? I'm a king. I don't need to go to these kind of funeral. These respect for my friends. He's dead. Big whoop." Then the next couple pages, he finally shows up to the funeral and he's like, "You know, you were right." It's like, holy
The
shit.
Roxxon agents were harming the ocean, and he killed a bunch of them. So Cap is like, the humans are ramping up for war with the Atlanteans.
You know what? I was thinking this reminded me an awful lot
Aquaman?
of the Throne of Atlantis storyline from Aquaman.
From Ocean Master.
The past, when Cap and Buck die, and they say they're going to get replacements, he gets pissed off. That was a really great moment where he's
Yeah.
like, "How you disgrace these men? They just died. They're in the ground. What they've done for you." And you can kind of see Namor slowly turning because of all the bureaucracy, how he had a partner. His partner died in the first issue, and how he can't really handle it. He's okay with it because he's strong and he's almost immortal, I guess you would say.
I was watching him get shot up to pieces, and
And
he
so-
was fine.
He's like, I signed up for this. Like he's like very concerned about how they pushed forward, and his partner died, and then now they're saying we can replace Captain America and Bucky. And he got mad about that they seem expendable to him, the American government and humans in a way, and that's why we see in the future like he doesn't trust any of them because in the past they basically threw him to the side and were like, no. He thought they were part of a team and that they were all working together and that they were one, Atlanteans and humans, and he found that he couldn't trust them, that they thought he was expendable, and now in the future, these Roxxon agents are also trying to harm his home. So it's good. I like it.
I enjoyed it. And this is one of those things
I do
that-
agree with you. The flashbacks are way
Oh, way stronger.
better, but mostly for the art, Butch Geist doing those scenes.
I mean, I get the premise of Namor being pissed. I don't need to know it 100%. Like, that makes sense that he's mad at the humans and stuff like that. But I just wish it was a more weighted reason, not just like, there's pollution in the world. Well, yeah, no fucking shit. I get
Is
it.
Namor kind of like a mix of Ocean Master, Aquaman type of thing, where he literally is the king of Atlantis, but instead of being down to earth and kind of understand, because he comes from a world of
Instead of being
apparent-
half human, half Atlantean, he's full on.
he's all Atlantean.
Yeah, all of it.
Okay, but he worked with the humans. Okay, because that was my
Right.
question. He has no ties to the land other than he teamed up with the invaders,
Right.
To be
he could
helpful.
Give two shits.
and then to find out they're dick bags, he's like, "Yeah, screw you guys, are on your own." Okay, that was my
Right.
question. Is that
Yep.
he really is kind of a mix of Ocean Master? He's Ocean Master, but with the Atlantean
Namor?
king. Yeah,
Mhm.
Namor's more badass than Ocean Master.
yeah. But I tell you what, I watched the Death Battle. Aquaman is better than Submariner.
Namor, so that part, and excuse me if you guys talked about this already, but I was looking up the reason why he was angry. They found out that Xavier and him knew each other at the very beginning, and there might have been some unsanctioned X-Men team before the actual first X-Men, and Namor was part of it. So that's what Human Torch is kind of investigating, wondering if maybe there was an X-Men before the X-Men that we know. And what did they do? And was Xavier a bad guy because he was working with Namor at the time? Because Namor is technically immune, but also an Atlantean, and he hates humans at this point. He wants to kill all humans, and was Xavier part of that plot before he decided there's a better way to go about it? So that's what they're looking up there. So we might see Xavier's dead, they think. In Astonishing, he's alive, right, Alex?
And a version of X is, yes.
So
A
don't know, man.
version.
they
Well, because he came back as a young man.
is
He's
it a dream of him?
No.
They could take it from a
No,
dream?
because it was the astral plane version of Xavier was dueling with Shadow Master or Shadow King, and then he got out of the astral plane, is now in our human realm, but he's no longer old man Xavier. He was a young man.
So it is,
Kobix made a clone.
so it is almost like.
So it's Ghost version. This is Ghost Cap over here.
And how did Wolverine return? Is that actually him, or is that some sort of
no, that's him. I mean, but he instantly gets transported to Persephone.
Oh, okay.
Somehow.
So anyways, we're gonna see whether or not Xavier was always the good mutant trying to work it out with humans, or was he more like Magneto when he first started?
And so you know who needs to team up? Magneto and Namor.
Hey, buddy,
Bro, what a way to destroy everything.
they get the upper, he gets the lower.
Just oh my god.
I would give this issue a 9. I think
Yeah,
it's
me too.
probably one of my
Yes.
picks this week. The flashback part, like, so moving and like really great
So
storytelling.
you're saying strong 9?
strong 9.
I'm going to give this just a plain 9.
I'll give it a 9, lower. It was
Whoa,
it was good
a
though.
lower 9.
Well,
Dang.
The coloring in the present day kind of bothers me too. It's too bold, but otherwise I like it.
Swing low,
I would actually much rather just see like
Push
3
dice
issues
the
of
whole time?
Invaders past, yeah, because it was so good.
There was an Invader series by Ed Brubaker and Steve Epting that was like a mini 5 issues.
That wasn't the all new Invaders, was it?
No.
That came out. Okay.
That was exactly like the flashbacks in this. It's fantastic. But it basically is a World War II story with them. So if you can find that, I would recommend that. I don't think I've ever seen it collected. Not that I can think of, anyways. But
Might be something to look at.
Alex, what else did we get?
I don't even know what else we got, guys. This is I'm 4 days behind. Can't remember shit. We actually got Man Eaters number 6. Spoilers. I do remember stuff because I pulled it up on my phone. Chelsea Kane is the writer, and Kate Niemczyk. Is it Niemczyk?
Yep.
Niemczyk is the artist. Again, I run the risk of Steel Trap kind of got melted in the smoldering place in the forge. The only thing I remember is what Garrett and I talked about before the show. Maud is sitting in her room. Her father walks in, and there is a unicorn sitting on her ground. A girl in a unicorn mask sitting on the ground, and
So-
her dad's not sure why she's there.
This whole scene does take place in the bedroom, even though Maud is doing a retelling of how a person with a unicorn head, is in her bedroom. Do we get that question answered? Fuck.
We
no.
already know. Oh, that's why. He doesn't know
what.
who that is.
Who is that?
It's that one girl.
Helpful.
Unicorn.
Oh, is it the girl that went missing?
Yeah, let me look it up here. 'Cause I'm-
She
girl that
got
went missing
taken
from the
by.
toilet?
Yeah, she got taken by people.
By phasers.
They
People who
were
face
men
the-
too. We didn't know. I thought they
Creepy
were
men.
dudes.
Don't you remember on the cover of issue 3 that there's a rainbow like the unicorn?
Yeah.
I'm going to pull it up right here. I'm going to
And
show
so
you.
you have
what
to
it
show me, dude. I don't remember anything anymore. I'm having a case of the Marvins here.
is. All right, let me figure out who it is. But you guys go ahead and what do you think about this issue?
I thought it was very funny. Usually, each issue has been funny, but I was kind of feeling like that filler train, like
Yeah.
I did with Black Panther, where I'm just like, huh? Like, okay, cool. Like, I don't understand. I mean, there was a couple diagrams in there that were funny.
So there's the unicorn doing karate in this one. That's
Right.
fine. You get to see the scat truck that's got the side out cut, so you can see what it looks like. There's things that are really good about this book, but I was actually telling the guys earlier that I was an advocate for. I loved this book so much. It was so much that taboo thing to talk about was so great. And now we've kind of even gotten away from that. And I realized this issue was doing that back matter of telling you a few things. I actually haven't read the source book yet, which was issue 4. So there maybe I'm missing just a little bit of things. Maybe I'm talking out of turn. But I want this book to get back to us hunting these panther things, or at least start escalating the investigation. Because a part of it is, as much fun as it is to read the mod stuff, I actually want to get into like an issue of just the scat crew doing an investigation. Her dad is actually a police officer. He's a detective. There's things that I want to see more of, and I'm only getting the mod story, and I know that's the main character that's important, but you need to let these side characters do a little more addition to your team.
Well, yeah, a little more world building, I would say. The whole ringtone bit with her mom, didn't like it at all.
Nope.
I thought it was like not even
What a way
clever.
to take me out of the book.
Yeah, I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. The storytelling that Maud does with all her classmates and like the different, so like these kids get this pencil that's basically a recruiting agent to go to this pencil shop. To basically that's where like the revolution of females is going to be, the female Panthers.
Yep.
They're training for like fighting and things like that, and like that was actually pretty cool. And I would have liked to see more of that instead of just like a one page like, oh,
Eliza
Fighting
Mohan is the
The girl that got
Unicorn.
kidnapped?
who the
No,
fuck's
she's the
Eliza
unicorn.
Mohan?
then the last issue on the back pages had unicorn and it says by Eliza Mohan. And
So we actually know it's her, or it's just that unicorn, the poem was written by
and
her?
throughout the issue she's wearing like rainbow stuff. So I assume it's her.
Okay.
There you go. I'm a detective.
Assumptions
I
are
mean,
wrong.
you guys are not detectives. I am the best detective.
That wasn't the question. The question was, why the fuck is that unicorn in her bedroom?
because then the last issue she was holding her because she
Snuck in, had to be there because her parents want to kill her.
no,
like, what's
she's turning
going on?
into the
Panther
Panther.
Panther
So
Warrior?
So was Maud
yeah, keeping him safe.
by teaming up in
Yeah.
her bedroom.
So now her dad showed up. Marathon issue 5. He was going up the stairs.
So why does she have to keep wearing the face mask? Why does she have to keep wearing the unicorn? Is her face stuck as a cat?
Oh,
She
Yeah, you detective. Tell me that.
constant menstruation.
And so what if she can't stop?
she's not there yet. That's spoilers. She's not at that part of the story. So you just gotta let it come to you sometimes.
Like,
So why is the
you do?
unicorn in the room?
I don't know. I really like this issue. I don't know. You guys are being contrarians today, but
I think a part of it is I'm just trying to be a dick just to be at you. Like,
Nah,
Black Panther.
I just think there
Don't care
wasn't a
about
lot
that
of
book.
substance. It felt like less information than a Walking Dead issue.
why? I don't understand. Why does it always have to be information?
Because it's a story. Story is not just
Story's
like
character.
stories don't take intermissions mid-book.
They take character moments though.
What character moments happen in this book?
Her Maud were talking about how her parents got divorced. Right, the slow deterioration of
Maud
the
and
relationship.
who?
Maud was telling how she saw their parents got divorced. Right, we have the whole issue where he comes in and says sorry, like your mom's good at that. She comes in and they're yelling at each other, "I hate you, you drunk bitch." She's seen the slow deterioration of their relationship. It's a character issue. Seeing why now they're divorced. So he's telling your mother will also figure this out, and he's kind of figured out like how, why, like the whole situation that they're in.
Well, he still has a crush on her mom. So 'cause,
Yeah.
her sexy body. Oh, that song was horrible. I didn't want that song. The song doesn't need to be your ringtone.
And then on the next one here, we see they talk about the pencils and how they kept getting people up front. But I'm assuming that is the girl in the unicorn, Eliza, because
Giving out the
she was
pencils?
looking for somebody to keep her safe. Yeah, so then they all get together. It's just setting up here. Now they're fighting with the unicorn, right? They're figuring out how to be women warriors.
Mm-hmm.
To fight against the patriarchy. Just because I'm woke and you're not.
I
Doesn't mean
I guess
I really like
Alex
it.
were
I don't know
asleep
what you
during
guys should talk about, but I really
But
don't.
why do we just said different things? So this issue didn't meet the standards that we wanted from it.
Good character.
It's good
stuff.
for you.
A lot of information there.
Good character stuff. She went through her parents' divorce, but didn't say anything about how it made her feel.
Yeah, and that's why she saw the unicorn as a way to find stability in her life.
What if the unicorn's not real?
But Maud isn't the unicorn.
Even though her dad
No.
sees it.
But the unicorn taught her how to fight and be a strong woman, and decided not to drink that
Or
water anymore.
is teaching her right now.
No, that's in the past. See, you don't even know what's going on.
Doesn't make sense.
She's telling her dad a story.
But doesn't answer why the fucking unicorn's in her bedroom.
We're not there yet. You want everything in one issue? It's only 22 pages.
Yes.
When issue 7 comes out, I'm going to read 1 through 6 again and see what this book's about.
Well, I get what it's
Because I remember
about,
the first
but
3, and that arc was great. And then
I just think as a single issue of this series,
Nah, strong 9 for me.
week 6.
I give it an 8. Oh shit! I give it an 8. I like
Strong
the book,
9.
but
Art was great.
Move the plot
Art was
forward a
great.
lot of good information.
No, it did not.
What are you talking about? The unicorn?
It was
ones?
told all in flashback.
We know in the first couple of issues we know about this club, but we don't know how the club got established. Now we're learning about it. That's not information.
It just
for the
established
record,
the
Marvin's
club
wearing a
now.
blue shirt, and Garrett's wearing a red shirt. It's Iron Man versus Captain America in here. They used to be friends. They're not.
You're going to
anymore.
see some mics beating up.
All
and
right,
we'll
like
see
I
who
said,
sound
I'm
backs.
woke or not. All right, Garrett, what else we get?
Holy shit!
Sorry, I'm asleep. I didn't hear what you just said. We have Heroes in Crisis number 6, written by Tom King. Was Clayman on this one?
Yes.
Art by Clayman.
No, and so is Grods, Mitch Grods.
And Mitch Garrett. Really?
Yeah.
Clay only did the
One
Confessions,
page,
right?
Yeah, he only did the Confessions, 1 in 20.
Okay. So this issue was really good. What it does, though, is it kind of creates 2 different viewpoints of the murder of everybody that we don't care about in Wally.
Arsenal's in there.
Okay, Arsenal too. I'm kidding. But so
Bluebird.
last issue we saw how Harley would have killed those people. Now this issue we see how Booster would have killed them. I think this is definitely like trying to get in our heads for both situations on who it could have been. My train of thought is I don't think it's Harley or Booster.
Someone else got it. in there.
Obviously, there's somebody else, I think. Maybe it's Skeets. Maybe Skeets went on the fritz, then Harley kills him, so you don't know any evidence after that. Yeah. I mean, it was my favorite part about this entire issue was the insight with Wally. Like, I think that's what I've been wanting to kind of know ever since Rebirth started. Like, Wally comes back and there's all this excitement around it. And you can kind of see that when he's interacting with like the Teen Titans. He's like, I'm back. And they're like, oh my God, you're back. We can do this, this, and this. And he's like, yeah, I mean,
We could.
but you can just tell he's not excited about being back for the sake of being a hero. I mean, he is a hero, but he's more excited to be back to like reclaim his life. But the sad part of it all is he comes back to this life where he's not married. He doesn't have kids. They don't know who he is. Jay and Iris aren't even alive.
We'll say his wife, what, Liz? Was it Liz?
Yeah.
She has no idea who he is.
Right. And in the Titans book, they were doing a little bit of her trying to remember who he is, but it just never stuck. And it's really depressing because like if you read any Wally West comics pre New 52 even, I mean, he's got a full functioning family. There's Max Mercury. There's Impulses around. You got the 2 kids. You got Barry and Iris and their whole gang. There was an actual Flash family. And like Wally just comes back to this world while everyone else is enjoying time with their family on vacations and holidays and things like that. I think there's even an issue with the Flash. I think there's an annual where Barry went to go spend time with Wally because he's alone, ever since this Rebirth happened. And I think that's the benefit of reading the Flash book and some of the Wally stuff, especially in this issue, because you gotta, Wally does have a lot of time on this issue where he's talking about how he's just living a life that he didn't think he would live. Like he didn't think that, it's kind of like that excitement. Like you're excited for your birthday, but then you get a shitty gift and you're like,
Oh.
fuck, okay. This wasn't what it was supposed to be. That's
Yeah.
kind of what it feels
Oh,
like.
I see. When you built it up in your head that you're getting
Yeah.
something, then you don't get what you wanted.
Right.
What you were anticipating.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just grateful for any gift I get. I don't know why you're so
Okay,
selfish
Mr. Woke motherfucker over here. Jeez. It's okay to be a little negative, man.
So this issue, like you said, it had Wally, it had Narc's story, and also had Harley Quinn. And so,
What was the third? What was that second?
Caveman?
Had a narc story.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his
Narc,
name.
that's
Is
his
narc.
name.
Okay.
I did enjoy 3 of them. So we got 3 different stories, like Garrett was saying. Wally's basically everybody's excited because Wally made this rebirth thing happen, but yet he is not getting anything out of it. But everybody else gets this new chance at life, and he basically is the one who caused it, but also doesn't get the life that he wants.
You lost everything.
So the issue stems on that, and that's how we get back to the scene which we've seen a couple times in this series where he apologizes to Arsenal saying, sorry, I just wanted to be with my family. And that's the reason why he couldn't leave that virtuality, because he lost and he's been wanting it so much since he's been back, and nobody understands. There's that scene with the Titans where they all rush off and are happy to be reborn, and he has to sit there and act like he's also excited to be back. But what's the point of being back when nothing's the same as you remember it? Harley, Poison Ivy, is trying to make her realize that she's in a toxic relationship with Joker, and to get past it, to kill him in these virtual reality things. And so they work through that. She's not supposed to be there, but Ivy thought it would be good for her to be there to move past that, because Harley doesn't realize that she needs it. And I think towards the end, especially that one panel, or that one page, I guess, with them talking next to each other, she finally understands what's going on, which is great, I thought. It actually is the first time in this whole series, because we've been playing up since issue 1 that she might be the person that killed them. Why was she there? And then her more being the antagonist of the story. But this one was like, this issue was her really, like, she should have been there, and maybe they were wrong to only have superheroes there. Like, sometimes some of these villains might need a little help. And then the Narc story basically is him using virtuality just to go back to the time that he was. And he was saying that he doesn't understand the modern world. He doesn't understand anything. He feels so lonely. He doesn't know what's going on. And like, the only thing he understands is being a caveman, but he can't go back now. And now in the modern world, he doesn't know what's going on.
When you want things, you kill stuff.
It's kind of almost like Wally said. Wally's wanting his family back. He is wanting to be familiar and like not be scared of being alone and not knowing what's going on. So,
well, but he misses his life as well.
Yeah,
his life
that's what
in
I mean.
the past.
Yeah.
Instead of, he didn't have this family that he misses, but he misses knowing things. So, I mean,
yeah, and being in a comfortable place. He has never been comfortable in the modern world, and he has to live here now, and he can't go back. So he like uses the virtual reality time rather than all the rest of them are using it to try to get over something, to relive a situation and get over it, where he's using it to just relive the situation.
By the way, I love Harley's way of getting over stuff.
Just killing Joker, telling bad jokes.
Well, but the best thing is, like, so if you've ever seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Return of the Secret of the Ooze, movie that Garrett hasn't seen, but in the first fight scene, after the Turtles win, there's just this pile of people that they've beaten up. That's what this was. It's just a pile of dead Jokers. Made me laugh.
That was a fun, enjoyable scene. Like, I think that, Joker always has these one-liners. And, even Harley said at the end of issue, like 2 or 3, there was a joke that Joker basically calling her an idiot. And she's like, and then he hit me, and it's like, she like looks away just like,
yep.
Damn. Real fucked up from that.
Well, so this the thing is that we forget that Harley Quinn isn't a bad person. She got caught up in a bad situation with Joker, and like most toxic relationships, you're afraid to leave the person who abuses you, one who's, they love you. That's why you stay. So she thinks he loves her. Well, she knows from now on that that's not true.
Right.
I really enjoyed this issue. The art was fantastic. The 3 storylines, using the 3 storylines to kind of establish what people are using this for. Like, this issue is very much an emotional and character-driven issue. And then at the end, we kind of see Booster being the one who killed people. And we're back at, is that really what happened? We're not still sure. I did see that people feel like the plot is still, like, it's not really progressing. Like, we keep going back to this question. But I think the real point of this series is that we have heroes in crisis. See that? And it's about what are those crises is and how do they get over it. And it's more about the PTSD that they experience and living through that and figuring that out. I think the who killed them all is more just to sell these books and get people like making it an event type of thing. But Tom King's writing this for those moments when they're in the virtual reality thing. So,
but I think the thing is that I almost wish that's what this book was going to be. Like, the idea of someone killing them, finding out where Sanctuary was, is great. But in all honesty, I'd rather have just had 7 issues, 9 issues, however long it's going to be, of just seeing these characters have their confessions or have this, PTSD, or how they got over this, or what they did and why they're here, or who affected them. That's what I thought this whole book was going to be. And it's nice that we do get those little exchanges. We get that little bit of FaceTime with everybody. But I don't really care about who killed anybody right now. I actually just wanted to see how these characters function. Because this is one of the first times I've ever seen superheroes or even anti-heroes or anti-villains or villains have problems and be like, we are human as well. For the most part, we're human. We have these mental instabilities that we need assistance with. That's more interesting than, hey, somebody killed everybody.
Well,
who doesn't kill everybody?
Yeah, I can see it both ways. I mean, Wally West is some people's favorite hero, like one of them. And some, for other people, you're right. I mean, when we read comics, usually the story we're reading is them doing their superhero job. We don't usually get to see them a lot when they're not doing that, and what effects it plays on them. So it's really fun to dig into this other side of superheroes that we never get to see as readers. I give this issue a 9. I really enjoyed it. There's still some things in the dark, but I think we got 3 issues left. There's going to be some answers for sure.
I would also give this a 9, very strong. Makes me excited to see where issue 7 takes it. For me, I want more of the story, and I know we're going to get into the last 3 issues. It's going to be more of a, not a story, but I want to see more camera time with everybody. I know we're going to have to wrap up eventually who killed who, but this book is strong.
This was 10 for me. This was my pick this week. I was just looking at the end.
My pick was Daredevil number 2, so we didn't talk about it.
This is my pick of the books we read. It's really fantastic. I'm looking forward to see where this goes. I was just flipping through the pages because I thought maybe we were going to miss something, but we didn't. It was about those 3 people. And then the end scene over again, but this time seeing Booster doing the killing. And what's kind of strange, not strange, but nice, refreshing is that we don't see any of the Trinity of this issue. It's more focused on these 3 instead, which is great because I feel like the main heart of the story is not those 3. Those 3 are more concerned about the mystery, and Wally, Harley, and Narc are people we need to focus on to see the why. Why were they here? Why would they even go there? And what's the point of all this? Even when we get past who killed them, we still have the question: did they need to be here? Or do we need something like this for superheroes? So.
But I think the one thing that I do enjoy, and there's a couple issues ago, is that the Trinity has used the recording before.
They have used it.
And that even though Superman is all-powerful, nothing can stop him. The man does experience hardships, has issues. Bruce, one of those people who you think, from all of his crime fighting and as hard as he claims to be, he struggles with things. And obviously Wonder Woman always has hope, but there are times where she's doubted herself. That it's nice to see these, gods among men also have a weakness, and it's not kryptonite. It's not being human. It is being human. I was thinking of Joker or Batman, but anyway, whatever.
There we go. We got some good books this week. Man-Eaters number 6. We got Heroes in Crisis number 6. Invaders number 2. Captain America number 8. Black Panther number 9. And Black Hammer, Age of Doom number 8.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Those are the books we read this week. Make sure to pick them up. Or you just pick up your books online or in store. Well, guys, that's some actually pretty good books this week. Nothing I thought that was super bad. Some things that I thought were pretty great. But speaking about comic books and associating them with things, we're going to talk about some comic book association. Once again, if you've never listened to this segment on the show, I just say some things, we talk about it. It's more of a checkup on certain things and get our take on things in the industry or just in the culture. So there we go. CBA. Here we go. First one here, Comic Book Association. The movies of 2019. There's a lot of stuff going on this year with comic book movies. I know Alex is very excited. But we have this week Captain Marvel, right?
Yep.
On the 8th. And we're going to go see it. We got tickets right away. So look for a review on that in the next show. And Avengers next month. Mm-hmm. We also have Shazam next month.
Correct. The 18th.
The 18th. Yep. Spider-Man's this year. Spider-Man 2.
July? June or July?
I think it's July. July 4th.
I think you're right.
X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Don't care.
That's coming out this summer?
I think it was.
I thought it was.
June or something like that, it said. So it was supposed to be February, but they pushed it back. So it could have been out right now. It could have been actually last month. What else we got coming out? Let me look it up here.
Joker in October.
Joaquin yes. Joaquin Phoenix. I'm super excited for that. I think that's the other DC movie this year. Mm-hmm. I think that's it. So
I bet there will be a November Marvel movie, maybe.
Let's see. Superhero.
From July, not till next spring. I feel like they'll have something.
It may not be this 19. It might be 20, early 20.
Right.
What, DC?
No Marvel.
Avengers Endgame, Captain Marvel, Dark Phoenix, Shazam. The New Mutants is still planned for this year. I doubt that movie comes out.
No way.
Spider-Man Far From Home, Hellboy. Forgot about that guy. And that Gambit movie's not coming out this year. There's no way. Here we go. Hellboy, I forgot. What do you think about Hellboy? How does that look to you?
I saw the second trailer, which was better than the first trailer. The first trailer was way too jokey, but I think everyone... I don't know. I'm interested to see how David Harbour will do. Right now, it's just a lot of Jason Momoa in the trailer, like hell yes, and being jokey. But I did like... So you see Mila Jovovich as the villain in this second trailer, and I would just go just for her. Like, she's an incredible actress from Resident Evil, and I think that she'll definitely be stealing a lot of the show. But there were some cool scenes with Hellboy, like he used momentum from this giant ass sword to cut off a giant's leg. That was pretty cool.
I said the one thing that makes me excited for Hellboy is the fact that it's not tied down to him being in the human realm, or even if he is in the human realm, there's monsters.
Right.
That was the one thing that I enjoyed about the first two movies that had came out, is that, you know, there's these things that go bump in the night. We're the things that bump back. Makes me excited. That's why I like this character so much, is the fact that he deals with the supernatural. So that's what I want from this movie. I just want it to be supernatural all the way through. Kill Mila Djokovic. Get rid of her. She's a bad guy. We don't need her Hellboy. Do it.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to probably give it a chance. Like, I don't know what to expect.
No, and that's the thing is, I mean, they're redoing the whole thing, aren't they? This is a whole fresh
reboot.
So
it's a new guy from Stranger Things.
Yeah,
What do you call him?
Jin from Lost.
Jin from Lost. They're in Britain, right?
I think so.
London. It looks like it because Jin talks in a British accent. That's not a British.
But David Harbour doesn't.
It's Hellboy. He's from hell. He's not from London.
he's from America.
He's from hell.
But they're for how long? He was a baby when he came over.
He's from hell.
He doesn't know what they sound like.
He doesn't he rise up from Germany?
He's in.
Yeah, then he sticks over there across the pond. He's come over for a half second. Yeah, I think so.
You're full of shit.
Whatever. He's somewhere. Doesn't matter.
I think it looks okay. It depends. It could go either way.
Yeah.
It's one of those that I can't really tell from the
It's
trailer.
probably a matinee for me. Like, I wouldn't go see it.
It's
for
rated
10
R.
bucks. Is it really?
Yeah, it's rated R. Somebody hears
They have a
some
Red Band
fucks.
trailer. That's the one.
Yeah,
I
he
just
says
watched.
fuck in it.
Oh, I didn't see that one then.
I'll check it out.
Rated R for violence, language. So it's trying to be more like the comics.
He's gonna rip someone's arms off and beat them with it.
I'm just hoping that it is good and does well, just so we can get more Hellboy, because that's the reason why the last one we didn't get a third one, is because the studio thought that it didn't do that well. But it did good, but it didn't do as well as they thought it should do. Avengers, I'm really excited to see what happens. I feel like I'm excited for it, but also it can't live up to anything that I think of. So I feel like I'm going to be disappointed.
I think that, when we went into Infinity War, I had this whole expectation of what was going to happen. Endgame, I'm doing my best to not be anticipating anything. I just want to go in and enjoy this movie.
Right.
Because then, a month and a half later, or 2 months later, Spider-Man's coming out. And for me, I think Far From Home is my most anticipated movie.
That looks good. So that's Far From Home also. Captain Marvel looks like it's good. Shazam looks like it's good. I think the movie, so all those look like they have a good chance of being good. Hellboy is kind of like in the middle for me. But the one I'm most excited for is that Joker movie in October.
With Joaquin Phoenix? Yeah, I think that is going to be insanely good.
So far, everything I've seen looks fantastic. The way that it's out of continuity and just focusing on the Joker. I've seen it's going to basically be him like becoming the Joker in that movie. I feel like I just finished watching You Were Never Really There with Joaquin Phoenix, and it's fucking good. He's amazing in it. So he's really a great actor, and I just want to see what he does with that. So even like that short teaser where it shows him just smiling and putting the Joker makeup on is like great acting without having to say a word.
Is it Joker makeup like when he looks at the Joker, or is it the one that he's wearing with the triangles under his eyes and stuff?
Yeah, he's gonna be a clown, not really Joker.
But again, we don't know. Like, that could be him starting out as a Joker and changing over time. I mean, we just don't know anything.
No, I know. And that's fine, because I just was wondering. That's one of those movies I can't be excited for because I don't know what.
Rated R.
Now I'm even more excited.
I think so.
I don't know.
Rips off some people's arms and beats them.
Endgame, I think, though, they're doing the Disney thing where they're not showing you shit, so it's hard to be excited for... They're not showing you anything exciting. So it's hard to get excited for a movie where they're like, you can't even think about what could be cool. But I mean, Infinity War was amazing. So good. I don't know if it. I just hope it meets the bar. It doesn't need to exceed the bar. I want it to meet it because if it's shit, that'll be so disappointing.
Well, I think with their 23 movies in when that comes out.
I think so.
I have a feeling they can't drop the ball that much. That it's the Russo brothers again, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I have a feeling they would.
And they shot it back to back with
so they
Infinity
should
War.
they should know how they want to finish the story. I have high hopes for Endgame, but like I've said, I don't want to anticipate anything because I do that, and that's when I ruin movies for myself. This is a movie I just want to go in and I just want to spend 3 hours of my night with my friends enjoying a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assuming you were.
I feel like it's gonna be fun. It's just the
Now
where does
wait
it
till cheap seats.
where does it go for the next phase after that movie? I think that's what I'm most concerned with. Like, how do you end that? How do you end that? Like, where does it go? I guarantee you this is going to be because they've been setting it up since Cap was introduced and Avengers 1 that this is finally the movie where it says Avengers Assemble. Like every single movie they stop him from saying it.
Oh, you said
So this has to be the movie where he says it. But also I have a feeling this might be the only time he says it, right? So
oh, we won't hear it ever again.
what's the because he's probably going to die. So what I mean that what does the next phase look like? That's what I'm more curious about. I think we know how this movie's going to go a little bit, at least the grand scheme of things. Who's going to die, who's going to stay around, and what's they have to bring back. People aren't going to, like, obviously Spider-Man. I mean, he's dead now, but he's not dead.
That's the only thing
future,
that is my only gripe is that the movie that I know comes out after this movie is Spider-Man, someone who was snapped away, that obviously I knew he was going to be dead anyway. I knew the movie was coming out, but now that I've seen the trailer and stuff, where it's like, really, this is something you guys could have waited for until
what if
the day
hear me
after?
out. What if the Avengers, everybody dies and the whole universe ends, and then they say, actually, there's an alternate universe, and that's where that Spider-Man starts? Would that would excite you?
No, because it's still weird that
Dude, I bet if it was up to Marvel, they would do that thing. But Sony's like, no, we got to show like the first half hour before that movie even comes out. God, I know. It's just that's so.
it used to be where when you watched the movie, you wait until the end scenes to find out what was coming up next. I kind of miss that. I know we live in a world where we know the next 12 years the movie's coming out and the days they're coming out. That's great, but it also kind of takes away from the excitement of at the end of Iron Man 2, guess what's there? Thor's hammer stuck in the dirt. And you're like, holy shit, I can't wait to see that. So there's things that I'm excited for. I'm still excited for Spider-Man. I'm still excited for Endgame. Yes, I'm sure people are going to die. There's actually characters that I thought would have already been dead and stayed dead. I'm interested to see who comes back, if anybody does.
I'm just like, how do you do Marvel movies without Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Hulk? Like, how do you do it?
That's the only thing is that, well, now you've got the strongest Avenger ever. Captain Marvel, she'll probably be the new team leader.
Well, you know, but it's just going to be such a weird landscape without any classic Avengers.
They'll bring in some new people. Kate.
Yeah, true.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I mean, they
Miss
can recast
America.
Iron Man.
They can recast Captain America. It's called Bucky.
Well, that's
Oh, you're right.
you could
That'd
be
be
Bucky,
cool.
or you could even have Captain Falcon.
Yeah. Thor. You can bring in
Jane.
Valkyrie.
Or Valkyrie.
Stuff like
Sif,
that.
Lady
So
Sif could come down.
her, yeah.
Still
Or
busy
she is.
doing
She's
a
still-
different
still
show,
is.
but
Is that show still on?
yeah.
The
Blind
tattoos?
Spot? Blind Spot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen another
got
after that.
canceled.
Only
I
comes
think.
out for, oh, really?
I think so.
Because I thought it came back for a second or third season. But anyway, doesn't matter. What did you think that the next phase would be building up to?
Iron Man.
Fantastic Four.
Oh.
Disney bought Fox.
I wasn't thinking Fantastic Four. I
Iron
was
Man.
thinking Secret Invasion.
Avengers ends with Iron Heart.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be the kid from Iron Man 3.
Holy shit.
Now, the one
so
character I
bad.
want to
Harley,
show up,
dude.
Cosmic Ghost Rider.
That's not happening.
He comes down,
You don't
just
the
wraps that
same-
lasso around.
the year the
He got
character
made.
gets created.
They threw him in. Let's
Threw
do
him
it.
Well, I think we know. So Captain Marvel comes out this week. By the time you listen to this, it comes out this Thursday. Oh, I guess we're going to listen to this today. I keep forgetting. Knowing how strong she is, she's one of the strongest people in the Marvel Universe. People are going to watch that movie, and we're going to know, like, that's how they win. She comes. But it also brings a new aspect to this. Like, how do you make a movie ever again where you make somebody who's a threat to these people when you have somebody like Captain Marvel on your team? Because she's so strong. She's going to take...
I would assume they've either had to weaken her or eventually she's going to, maybe to a point she's got to throw her, or, pull her punches. She can't kill everybody, can she? I mean, she literally can kill everybody.
She goes binary. It's possible.
So, I mean, at some point in time, I can't imagine she wants to go binary because she loses control, right?
Not really.
Oh, really? It's not like Human Torch where she can
No.
kill herself by going too hot?
Nah, she's cool. She can
Bro,
kill shit.
dude, just
We'll see. Coming out this week.
maybe
I'm excited.
maybe what you do is you let her stay in the station. Then you're like, hey, Kang is kicking the shit out of everybody. Thanos came back. He's beating the shit out of us. Doctor Doom's here. This whole big gang. Release the Titan, and she comes down and just beats the crap out of everyone. They win. That's what they'll call the next movie.
Next,
Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Ass kicker. Next subject on CBA here. Ascender. The sequel to The Center. I want to bring it up. You guys can talk about it. I would talk about it, but I've talked too much about The Center. It comes out, starts in April. What do you guys think? What are you expecting? It's more of a fantasy sequel. It's in the
It's
same
magic,
world.
and I'm excited to see what this book has because we've gone from space technology to now grounded, and it's going to be more magic or fantasy based. That's exciting.
It is. It's so exciting, and I think it's cool. It's going to pay homage to Descender because the entire mission of Andy's daughter is to find Tim 21.
Yep.
So it's going to be kind of, to me, I kind of think of Avatar: The Last Airbender about it, where he has to figure out everything he needs to become the Avatar. But in this case, it's going to be, I need to figure out where Tim 21 is to unlock all this information. But I mean, we're going to see the characters' motivations because, like, I don't get how magic you need robots to be able to, but there's something about Tim 21 that started that entire Harvester robot invasion. So
I would tell everybody that I'm going to reread Descender before Ascender comes up, but I know that's not going to happen.
no,
But it would be. I'm
maybe
hoping
the last arc.
it's like, well, I remember the last arc. I don't remember how all these other things had happened and transpired because that was one of those things where the whole team is together and then they kind of get split up doing their own things. Oh, that's really great. Then they finally come back at that final fight. I remember most of the last stuff. This is one of those books that I had seen coming out and I was like, oh my God, that book's already coming out. Wait, oof. Can't wait to hop on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
yeah, me too. Excited to see the.
Are you gonna get it? Are you gonna read it?
Why
with
wouldn't
us?
I?
Yeah, because you only read like
Descender
10
twice.
out of 20 pages of issue 1.
I read all 29 issues of The Center.
32.
32.
Hey, reading the cover doesn't count.
Oh, I must list last two. I'll catch up. Here we go. So we're at a point now where it's been about a year, maybe, of Bendis at DC, and I just want to ask, mostly Garrett. I think he's the only person who gets Bendis books, right? What do you think so far?
I think that all the buzz was wasted on him. Like, I think, like, he is a good writer. He's written some really great things, but I don't think that DC needed to change so many plans about their universe bringing him over. I mean, it was a huge audible, huge audible to get Bendis over to DC. The whole... I'm starting to think that the whole Rogol-Zaar thing is all Jim Lee and Dan DiDio, because that is fucking garbage. Like, the Superman book is just not even enjoyable because of that. And the last couple issues, Rogol-Zaar is not even in the book. And I saw in solicits that he's coming back in, but I'm like, these issues have been good that don't have Rogol-Zaar in it, because, like, Bendis is trying to make it more about Superboy, Lois, and Clark. But he mentioned a Rogol-Zaar, and it's just like, fuck, this book just sucks. Action Comics, incredible. I think that's Bendis being able to do whatever he wants with Superman, and he's doing an amazing job. So that, if instead of writing that Rogol-Zaar bullshit at the end of Action Comics 1000, if Bendis would have wrote something for actual Action Comics that he's doing now, I think that would have been a way better drive to get people to read his stuff.
Yeah,
Question.
but I'm sure Jim Lee and
Yeah.
Dan DiDio had something to do with it.
I'm pretty sure Jim Lee did the concept design of Rogol-Zaar.
So you haven't read these yet, but I have a question for you. In the Walmart things, what do you call them?
pamphlets.
Yeah.
100-page specials. Bendis is writing Batman, and Tom King's writing Superman. So they flip-flopped on that. Do you think that's a better fit for them? And maybe that's how it should be when Tom King's done with his 100 issues of Batman?
I
Do a
think
little
so.
flip?
I think so. I think that people, the number one question, like we had when Snyder and Capullo were done with Batman, is like, who's going to write Batman? Like, you need a high, talented writer to take over Batman. Else you're not going to, I mean, that's your cash cow is Batman. So I think Bendis would be a great name to have on Batman. Again, though, that is going to come with probably some things that are going to be pushed on him, as it appears, to push into these stories. That's kind of worrisome. But I would love to see Tom King on Superman. I think, even think about Heroes in Crisis, was it 5? Or 4 or 5, where Superman does that speech, and then we saw the bit in Action Comics 1000.
It's the best story in that book.
Yeah, Tom King 100% knows who Superman is, and I would love to read a story or an 100-issue arc of Superman.
Those are the
by
two
him.
stories in those collections, the Walmart, when they released them in trade format. Those are the two I want to read.
Yeah,
I would try
that out.
those
Because I want to see
Swamp one when they come out.
I haven't, and it's probably because it's such a small part of the market right now. Those Walmart ones. I haven't heard anything about those two books from anything in the original buzz on the internet. I haven't heard from anybody that we know talking about them. So I have a feeling like only select people who aren't like super hardcore into comics are reading those. Casual people. So I haven't had any feedback on like if that's good or not. So I am curious to read and see and be like, okay, because we know Bendis is good with detective stuff. We know that he's good with.
From what? What has he done detective related?
What are you talking about? Alias, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose.
And he does a lot of street level.
Yeah,
books.
he does. That, that's when he's good. Is like those type of books. And so, sorry, I'm backwards. And we know Tom King, judging from the Action Comics and from the Heroes in Crisis, and actually also Batman, when him and Bruce went to the fair and stuff like that.
The double date.
That he's good with Superman. So
See, I would agree in the Tom King one. Him being on Superman, that sounds amazing. I would love that book to
you
pieces.
telling me a Batman, Bendis, Alex Maleev, you wouldn't go buy that book? You're talking to me a Tom King,
Depends.
Jorge Jimenez.
Is he gonna make an AutoZone joke in that book as Bruce? Then no.
That was Flash. He doesn't know how to read Flash.
Bendis and Maleev on.
No, I'm talking about
Batman.
Infamous Iron Man.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
AutoZone. Like, no, Doctor Strange doesn't say that shit.
Yeah, I'm in the zone. So we'll see. Bendis. So far, I haven't dipped my toes into that, but I am
Weren't
curious.
you getting some of his other stuff?
His
No.
Pearl or
the Pulse? Was it?
No,
the little
cover.
minis that he did.
I thought you were getting cover, or you're getting Scarlet, or you're getting
I think I got cover 1, but I haven't read it yet.
who wrote Young Justice? Is that Bendis?
Yeah, that's Bendis the Gleason.
Okay.
But I'm curious to check out Action based on Garrett's feedback. So whenever it's collected,
I want to read it. I'm not going to go back.
Pretty
and get
sure the
issues
first
for it.
From the
volume
first-
of it's coming out soon.
all of it's been good or just recently?
From
1000, right?
From 1001 till now.
I don't know how to check
It's been
Hoopla.
great.
They usually put it on there, so I'll check and see if it's on there. If it is, I'll read it. Batman. Speaking of Batman, what do we think Batman is currently? We've had a couple issues that were a crossover, right? So it's kind of a break from the main story. I didn't read those. I'm skipping them. I announced on the forecast. I haven't read them. So for me, it feels like Batman's been gone for half a second. So what do we think about this little break?
I'm kind of disappointed in it, to be honest. I think the Nightmare arc has been way too long. And even seeing the solicit for the next Batman issue is Nightmare continues. I'm just like, fuck, like another one shot of
I was
him
saying,
like being in a dream.
So they did this break, right? I haven't read the
Yeah.
break because I haven't gotten my Flash issues yet. They did the Nightmare. Then there's a 2-issue break or 4-issue break, including the Flash issues that have nothing to do with the Nightmare. And now we're getting back to the Nightmare, right?
Right.
Okay, that's stupid.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous thing. Finish it out and then switch that issue to the back.
Well, Tom King, I don't know what other
He
project he was working
took a
on.
break. He had something to write for TV or something like that.
Well, I mean, I get the break, and but I would have assumed
You're
that
right.
the
Finish
issue
the arc.
66 would have been done before he went away, or maybe not. Maybe they really did have to fill
I'm
this in.
guessing he's going to write. He went off to do a Sheriff of Babylon, whatever, something.
Rock on, bring it. Never mind. I forgive you for your Batman problems.
But my question is this: so if he didn't write those 2 issues, he said he was going to do 100 issues. His story's 100 issues. Does that mean he's at 102?
I just saw him tweet. He said, my last 30 issues, I just saw the final, there's a concept image of his last 30 issues, and it's 75 to 105.
Oh, okay. So he's going beyond 100.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so that's fine. But it is ruining it a little bit.
So does that mean there's another break coming in here in the next 10 issues?
maybe he needed a couple more.
Okay.
Well, there's going to be a one-shot somewhere in there that he hasn't written, because there, maybe. Because I thought he was only doing 100 issues, 100%.
There's
has
this
to be.
Justice League event happening. I'm not sure if there's a crossover with that.
Because there was 2 issues of this, 2 issues of the button he didn't write. Or he wrote one of the issues.
Yeah, he wrote
He
one.
wrote, yeah.
Joshua Wilson wrote the other one.
Yeah. It all depends. But
We'll see.
105 is the end of his run.
105. So, I mean, I feel disappointed that we have a little break, but I'm on my Batman backs.
I think the one thing though is that even the break, that it wasn't a break, the Nightmare story, is an elongated story of something no one asked for quite yet. And maybe eventually it will pay off. And I realize this whole 105 issues long is going to be one whole arc of Tom King telling us Batman. The book had started out kind of weak, and then at least for Garrett and I, and as they got to like issue 18, this book has been spectacular. With a couple, maybe a hit or maybe a miss here and there, but for the most part, this book has been amazing. I really do hope that Tom King, and I'm sure he can handle it, will nail the last 38 issues, 30 issues he's got left to write, because this is one of the best Batmans I've ever read.
I'm just ready for the Nightmares arc to be done. Like, we get it.
Do you guys remember how good Scott Snyder was on Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But now it seems like chump change. Like, it's just like
I would get anything that guy did. And American Vampire is great too. By the way, also on Hoopla, see if you want to read that. But then, the Justice League, I have no interest. I saw there was an event. He tweeted out, like, hey, the event's starting. And I was like, no interest. It's Jorge Jimenez art during the event too. No interest. So we'll see. I don't know.
Well, I think I told you guys before. I had read issue 12. It was wordy and long. I didn't give a shit. I read 13. 13 was a Joker-based issue. Spectacular. Loved it. And then I went to start reading issue 14 about Battle of the Hawks. I got like 7 panels in. I was like, I don't give a shit.
Battle of the Hawks.
And I still have like 6 more issues I'm waiting to arrive. So I don't care.
Next thing here, I'm curious because it feels like we keep trying to dip our toes in. And I'm curious if you guys are still have your feet in or if you've taken them out yet. X-Men? Anybody get an X-Men book? Not Wolverine, just like X-Men, like a team. You get Astonishing still?
The only one I did is X-Men Red, and that ended with Tom Taylor, and I'm only on X-23, the book. Dead Man Logan, I
Red
guess.
ended?
No, but he's not asking for.
talking about teams.
He wants teams.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
The Red book ended?
Red book ended.
I didn't realize it ended. I thought it got brought into a.
It's over.
What about Astonishing? Is that still going?
I don't know because I think it's the same thing. Because all of a sudden I haven't gotten any issues in the last.
I think they were all leading to that Age of Alpha.
Okay, because I think it's gone.
They're all uncanny now, X-Men?
I think so.
I think so, but the X-Men line is so saturated, event heavy. I don't want anything to do with it.
The X-Men line comic books is like the X-Men line in movies. You've had great hits, and then you decide to branch out too much or to change things or reboot that no one cares about, no one asked for, and you're forgetting what made these characters so accessible.
And maybe it would have got your book if you didn't put Uncanny Avengers at $7.99 for issue 1.
Yeah.
Go
X-Men?
fuck yourself. Yeah.
Uncanny X-Men. You said Avengers.
Sorry, I meant X-Men.
And it was a weekly.
Yeah, weekly
For like the first 12
starts
issues?
at $8, and it's $4 a week after that.
I think it's past the weekly thing now, so now it's monthly again, which that was what sparked this being a topic, was like, do I try that now? Now that's on a monthly thing. And I think it's a bi-monthly thing.
Oh.
But still,
it's issue 21 now or something like that.
yeah, it's really...
Where Cyclops and Wolverine are teaming up or something.
I haven't been able to be on a consistent X-Men book for a long time because I just feel like there's all this steam going forward, and then it just loses out on the back end, and I just can't do it anymore. Like, I've done so many team books that I thought were going to be great, and they just fizzle, and then I'm just like, oh, I really want to read a good X-Men book. It just doesn't happen.
That actually brings me to the next topic here, and we can segue into this first and then expand it beyond that. The old cartoons, like I'm a fan of the X-Men because of the X-Men cartoon. So when I see those books, it makes me want to get them based on that. Those old cartoons, is it still, like, have you anybody watched them recently? Does it still work out, that X-Men?
I haven't watched it recently, but I own all 5 volumes of it. That show is spectacular. I'll admit the last volume is maybe a little weaker. It got away from just being the X-Men doing their own thing to sometimes teaming up with Captain, sometimes teaming up with this person. But the X-Men was a great show. It's got one of the best theme songs ever written.
For sure.
And I think for me, it gave that staple of these characters and I love their spandex suits. But that's the way they should always look. Instead of their black leather that they got in the movies, let Cyclops wear that sweet blue suit with that weird crossbar thing. Wolverine should always wear yellow and blue, or brown and orange. I'm fine with that too.
So the thing that sparked this was that my son is getting into Spider-Man a lot. So we watched Into the Spider-Verse. And so I saw on Disney XD they have that Spider-Man cartoon.
From what, 1967? Or
no, it's a new one. It's a new one. It's just called Spider-Man. Marvel Spider-Man, something like that. Which the animation doesn't look great. It doesn't actually look even good. So I was curious.
I would say I've heard a lot of bad things about that one, but the Ultimate Spider-Man
That was
one,
great, yeah.
That was supposed
Oh,
to be
really?
That was really great.
I didn't care. I remember watching one episode with you guys, and I didn't care for the Ultimate Spider-Man, and maybe it was just the issue. The episode itself was bad because that had White Tiger in it, and Power Man, and Iron Fist,
But
and
the 97 TV show is the best.
oh yes, by far
100%.
the best. I wish they don't even make that as DVDs unless you go across the lake
Pond?
pond. There you
Ocean.
go, not across the lake. Well, I meant to do the pun of
That's what I was asking. Like,
across the
do
pond.
you think I should go back and show them those instead?
If you can find the 97, show them those.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Spider-Man.
Because what a way, actually, Spectacular Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
was great.
Oh, that's the one
Yeah.
I'm thinking about. Not
That one's
Ultimate.
great.
That's one.
That oh man, that's a good show. I wish that hadn't gotten.
And of course,
canceled.
we know Batman holds the fuck up. Like
Oh,
that's
hell yeah.
that's still good. But,
What a-
but it's kind of dark for a kid.
it can be
Yeah,
dark.
there's-
Like what age do you think?
So
Seven?
if you do the first
Yeah.
3 volumes, it's fairly kid friendly.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of
the
guns.
First, the first
and
episode's about
gangsters
Man Bat.
and-
You think a Man Bat's scary?
That was my favorite episode.
Well, how old were you?
Actually, my favorite episodes are the Riddler ones. Those are the best.
I feel
Oh.
like you could go Teen Titans.
Did I tell you guys about this Riddler thing? I think I did.
Riddler knew
And
this?
the thing I was watching with my son, he's watching this UP thing where they had.
Oh, you did tell us
oh,
that. Yeah.
They had toys, and they said Riddler likes to have fun.
Oh yeah, you told
yeah.
us that.
He
Wrong.
likes to have fun.
Wrong answer.
Yeah, we'll see. Is there any other? Oh, Superman, the Superman show.
But
Like the animated series?
Yeah,
animated
Yeah.
when Batman was animated. That's a good show.
Justice League is fantastic. Unlimited is fantastic.
Yep.
Young Justice.
Young Justice just started up again. Season 3.
TMNT 1987.
TMNT.
Sticks up if you like the turtles.
I wish there was. I mean, I guess there's that DC service that has all these, but I wish there was more of this streaming so I could just watch it rather than have to find these DVDs of Spider-Man across the pond. He says,
And so I've looked for them. We can't
I
find
thought
them.
they were. I thought the show was on Netflix. Maybe they pulled it.
"Which one?"
The 97 Spider-Man.
No,
series.
it's not on there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I've been looking for that thing. Maybe
It
it's
was on there. Corey watched the whole. I mean, we used to watch that as a kid all the time before going to school.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
in
that
the
was back
morning.
in 97 when you're 5.
You know,
Oh.
I was 20.
speaking of which, so you watch it. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, right? TV, movies, books. Not for Alex. He's only the books, right?
What?
Do you watch any TV show, superhero show?
No. I was gonna say the only show I probably would get into would be
Do you
the
watch
new.
The Rookie?
No.
I saw that ad. And I was like, that's an Alex show.
It is an Alex
Dude, I
show.
watch it.
The
It's
weird thing,
amazing.
the weird thing is that
Oh.
so I love the TV show and I've loved the comic books of Castle. It's a TV show on ABC. This is what The Rookie's on ABC, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think so.
So it's pretty much essentially the same thing, other than he's the cop in this one. It's like, why am I not watching the show?
You
I
should be.
love Nathan Fillion.
Oh,
Um,
it's so good.
So the next topic is falling behind in comics. We know I'm always in
up.
that situation,
Always Ace is Marvin.
but I know Alex said you recently caught up, or you still behind?
I'm so fucking behind.
Garrett, are you behind, or you caught up?
I would say I'm medium behind. Like, I'm probably like 20, 30 issues.
So
behind.
as you get more and more busy, and time is not a gentle beast that comes at you fast, and a lot of shit happens.
It's like Mama from that movie, Mama.
But
She gets
yeah.
on the ground, she chases you down.
How do you deal with it? Do you make a list, or do you cut books? What's the way you're going about it?
I think I focus, because my goal, like we've talked about it before, my goal is to read 6 comics a day. And I think lately I've been not doing that. Because like reading comics comes and goes sometimes. Like I like to read my books in order that they come out, kind of thing, by different categories. So like if I see 6 books and I'm like there's not one that's like, fuck, I can't wait to read that. I'm less likely to be excited to read, and I'll probably just watch TV and stuff instead. So I try to kind of like revamp my interest again and just like force myself to read it. Once I'm like halfway through one comic, I'm like, fuck, why did I stop reading
Yep.
books for like 3 days? Like it's just the hard
that's
thing
what I
is
was gonna
turning the
say, too.
page.
That's what I was going to say too. Like the books this week, I waited until this morning to read them. When Friday and Thursday, like in Saturday, I was like, okay, I'm going to read the comics early. I'm going to read them right now, and then I would be quick, be like, oh, let me look up something, and I would go to YouTube or Netflix, something like that, and I would see something. And next thing I know, 3 hours later, I'd be like, okay, I guess I don't have time to read this books anymore. But when I thought about it, it felt like you were saying, it's like that hill, and you're like, oh, it's going to be too hard to start into this. But once you're halfway into that issue, you're like, okay, I want to read the rest of these.
I am one of those people that I will binge read something. So if I had 3 issues of Batgirl, I will read 29, 30, and 31.
Not even 3 issues. What about Saga? How many issues was that?
Well, that was different. Before I even had all the issues, I loved Saga. Actually, I wish I would have jumped on right away. But anyway, point being, 45 issues in one day can be done. I don't like doing the way that Garrett does it because you do read one current, one past, or one something, right? You don't read them all as necessarily a group.
I do a Image book, a Marvel book, a DC team book, a DC individual book, a Superman book, and a Batman book.
Holy shit! No, I can't do that.
So that's like 6 books.
Yeah, it's 6 books. So, but like when I do it, I generally read Independence first because there's usually a smaller stack. And mostly because DC comes out twice a month and a lot of Marvel comes out twice a month. But a lot of it for me is I just want to get done with that story. And the hardest thing for me is what do I want to start with? What I'm trying to do now is that I make my list that I'm getting for the week. And when I send it to the boys, I want to read the books that are on that list. So if you're going to talk to me if you're going to ask me, hey, Alex, how's Conan? I can go, I've read number 3. It's pretty good. Or I hated it. I'm not getting this book. So that's how I generally try to do it, but that doesn't always happen.
Yeah. So like I think I cut a bunch of books when I went digital, but even digital, it is easy for me to catch up because they're all right there. So like when I want to catch up on when I cut up Captain America, I was so behind, and I didn't realize that I hadn't like read it. It was easy for me to tell because it tells me a progress bar if I read it or not, and it's easy for me to tell. Or easy for me to be like, okay, I can read like 6 in a row because by the time you get to the end, it says next book and you keep going. So that's been fantastic. But in terms of, I'm still behind though. Like there's still tons of books. Like if we don't talk about it on the show, they sit in my library, my digital, and I think it's easy. I need to figure out a way to make a full list and be like, I'm behind on these books because then it just gets lost in my library of books and I just forget about it until we bring it up in the show. Like Black Hammer, I hadn't read since issue 5. And then you're like, you put it on the list. And I was like, okay, I forgot I stopped reading this book. I got to go back and read it. Because every time it would come out in the forecast, that's when I'm like, oh, shit, I got to read this book. And then here comes Thursday. And if it's not on the list, then I forget about it. So
that's the nice thing about having actually the copy of the book is that it sits out for me. And a lot of the time, like when I get home from the shop on Wednesday, I will literally make that stack of, okay, these are the 6 books the guys and I are reading. Here are the other 28 of those books I need to read before I read those 6. So it makes it easy for me to know what's coming
I've turned digital books into print books. Like I have a huge wad of sticky notes, and I'll if there's that book coming out this week, I'll write the sticky note and put it in the order that I was going to read it. So I'll treat it as its own comic book, and I just know to read it digitally.
My next topic here, I forgot what it meant, but I think I know what it means. It says books you might like, and I believe it was at Grass King's talk. Is there any books that are on your radar right now that aren't out yet or that it just came out that you're thinking about jumping onto?
Transformers reboot.
Is that coming out soon?
I keep looking. I think so. Yeah, April. After seeing that Bumblebee movie, my passion for Transformers has totally gone back. And
they did announce that they're not going to go back to the old Transformers timeline. They're going to stick with that Bumblebee timeline and make a new movie in that kind of vein. So
right.
It is good to, if you want to read that reboot, that's basically how Transformers is going to be going forward. So,
I read issue 1 of Grass Kings. I really enjoyed it. It seems that's one that hindsight should have jumped on right away, much like a lot of other books. There's not a whole lot of things nowadays that I'm not. For me, it's mostly past things that I want to read. I'm generally pretty good about either I get stuff and I'm content. Like Captain Marvel, I kind of want to read it, but it's also one of those things, I don't know how much I care about that character. From what I've seen of her, I'm not a fan. When she shows up and does her own book, I hear she's great. I know, was it Kelly Sue DeConnick had done a great run back in 2012.
Feels like that's most of the movies based on her run. So
a good staple of that character. But then I've also seen poor writings by, I believe, the king of books himself, Bendis, had written Civil War II, and I hated how that character was.
What are you talking about? Best character in that whole book. We talked about it for week after week.
There's things I'm always looking to read, but a lot of it is I do own most of the things I'm looking to read. I want to read Scalp. That's still on my list, but I just haven't gotten to it. Right now I'm reading Manhattan Projects by Jonathan Hickman, and now that the guys have finally talked me into using the free Hoopla, I'm reading books that I haven't read and I don't need to go out and buy anymore.
I guess you're right about that. I think most of the books on my radar are things that are already out and I just haven't got up to. I less and less look forward to, and actually this will tie nicely with the next topic here, I look forward less and less to new comic books just because after you've been reading weekly for a while, you realize that certain books, A, get announced and never come out, or
Frontier.
B, get announced, 3 issues come out, and then you never see it again.
I'm pretty
Shield?
sure Hickman's dead.
So I've got less excited about newer books because it sounds like a cool idea, and I was like, oh, cool. For instance, the Lois Lane and the Jimmy Olsen books sound fun, and I'm sure those will continue, but also, like, there's a lot of question marks with future stuff now, especially Image. And so Alex is correct. When I go back and, like, Hoopla, the things that excite me most are looking, like, when they upload those Silver Age collections and, like, Golden Age. It's like going back and reading that stuff, so. Speaking of Image Comics.
I want to be a Marvin and hold on to my mic because I'm tired of sitting forward.
Speaking of that Image Comics, so is Image still, like, when you see Image book, is it like still considered to be a good book, or is it more creator based? Like, you have to look for creators on that thing.
I think, unfortunately, it used to be Image was the way to go for everything. I'm finding it more to be, it's not even necessarily who the writing team is. Because when I think of Rick Remender, that man used to be the staple for, if he was on a book, I was getting it, such as Seven to Eternity. That was a great book. I believe both Garrett and Marvin both had dropped off it. I still get it. It's not what it used to be. It feels like Rick Remender is busy doing other things, and he is. I know Deadly Class is the same kind of thing. Great, one of the most amazing books I'd ever read. We've gotten back into it finally, and it doesn't feel like it used to. So it doesn't even matter if the writer himself is great. It really kind of depends now what the plot is going to be. Do I think this book has a long run that I can expect, or do I know it's only going to be a 6 issues? Like when you do a Mark Miller book, I know it's only going to be a 6 to 7, depending, because Empress was a 7-issue run. I almost like those books because I know there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to it. Now, other than probably Brian K. Vaughan, who I think is a staple of an amazing writer, Paper Girls is going to start their last arc here in the next couple of weeks. Actually, I believe it starts next week, their last, 5 issues or 6 issues or whatever. I know that book it already was amazing. That Cliff Chang art was phenomenal. But I don't know if Image is the staple anymore that it used to be. Saga will always be one of the top 5 books for me from Saga, or from Image.
It used to be
but
that
it's gotten away from being a staple that can always be good.
it used to be, and I think it's coming up here. It's either this month or next month. They do the Image Expo where they announce all new books that they're going to be doing. It used to be that was the most exciting time for me to see those next, group of books that was coming out, because it was creators that I liked, and it was artists that I liked, and it was concepts that sounded really fresh. But now, when I see that, I'm almost like, yeah, okay, if it comes out and if it sticks on a schedule, there's no knowing whether or not. I feel like maybe Image needs to hold their creators a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? Accountable. And be like, hey, like, you have to have. I mean, they do also, like, if there's not 3 books that they can put in solicits and that are ready to go, they won't let them solicit until they have 3. But I also feel like 3 maybe, like, it has to be like a constant rolling 3. Like, it can't just be like 3 and then you take a break and then 3. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like their market is starting to get really saturated. Kind of like, I would consider them more like Marvel. Like, instead of having those like great quality books, there's like are great quality books, but mixed in with a bunch of other stuff that's like very genre based, and like you have to be into that certain type of thing to like it. And I think that's not what Image was first meant to be. I think it was supposed to be a creative outlet for creators who weren't being able to do what they wanted.
I like what Jeff Lemire is doing with Image's work, but like, you're right. Like, there's certain books now. It's definitely very pitch influence. Like, they can have a one line be like, it's vampires with this thing, it's monkeys in space, and people are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get
Sounds
that book.
great.
Well, it's like every Mark Miller book now. Like, I didn't get the Sharky one, and I shouldn't have gotten Prodigy. It's like, I think right now,
Sharky. Oh, yeah,
Strictly
yeah.
the
Bounty
new
Hunter.
bounty hunter one. Like, I think Mark Miller is now getting to the point where, Netflix just hired him to write all this content. Well, now he's just creating story pitches for the fucking sake of getting a paycheck.
But I feel like
know?
that's what Image is right now. It's like story pitches.
Yeah.
Like a lot of, and that's why they don't last that long because it's like, oh, that's a cool idea for a book, and then 3 issues, then you're like, okay, well, I had an idea, but that was it.
Instead of someone being passionate about wanting to tell a story over certain, like having a game plan, kind of like Rucka, and I would say, yeah, Rucka for sure, even though where the fuck's he been.
But I was gonna say my thing I was gonna say is you're right. There's those pitches that only last for 3 issues. There are pitches that have gone out for 20 issues, 30 issues. Southern Bastards, where the hell has that been for the last year and a half?
No clue.
Rucka and Lark.
Black
I
Magic.
know Lark is working. Yeah, Black Magic. Lazarus. Deadly Class was gone forever. There's a lot of things that
back
have
now.
been great. And Saga, at least I know Saga's going to be gone for at least
he
a
told
year.
us.
At least a year. Who knows? Could be longer. I also think that break is well needed. And as a fan
Black
and,
Science.
and someone I clearly loved that book so much. Yeah, Black Science.
Goddamn.
That book has been, well, goddamn, I've let that one die a long time ago. That one's fine.
Black Monday Murders.
But Black Monday Murders, I saw that one was coming out here maybe in 2 months or something like that. Maybe. I don't even know if it's
East
coming
or
out
west?
anymore. That one, at least I'm caught up on. There's things that I want the accountability because there's things
they
that
used
I'm
to be
expecting.
relevant. Like
Bitch
some
Slap.
of those books you were excited for,
That one's dead.
and now like you're 4 months behind the curve, and there's a new book that everyone's excited about. But it's like, hey, you remember me?
The
It's like,
Fix.
fuck no, we don't. You were gone for
Well,
half a year.
I mean, I think that's what it is like, I see Nick Spencer be like, oh, The Fix. And then he goes off into Secret Empire, and then we don't see The Fix for a while. And it's like, okay, well then why even make The Fix right now? Like I understand you want to get paid Marvel money, but also why not be like what Vaughn did and be like, hey, we're going to take a break for a second. Rather
Yeah,
than
you should
still-
finish an arc or a storyline or whatever, put a cool cliffhanger on and say, to be continued, which means, hey, maybe in 20 years we'll come back to
I
this.
just need more communication. I don't like being kept in the dark, especially about these Hickman books.
But with the Hickman books, but I think a lot of it for me is like even Jason Aaron. Jason Aaron was one of my favorite writers. He's writing some amazing books. Southern Bastards is one of those books I had jumped on after Marvin had lent me the first
I
4.
don't even remember the last issue came out.
It was issue 19. It's been about a year. If not, no.
I'll look it up.
I think last
October?
October is
Yeah.
when I thought it was supposed to come out. So it's been over a
I was
year.
going to say October sounds familiar. Goddamn, where's that book?
Again, that one's dead.
That one's dead?
That one. I didn't expect that one to come back. I always assumed that it was going to be a.
At least
5-issue
that one ended and it said more's coming.
It was done
at
at
least
the
didn't have a
arc.
date. 1987 was the last issue of the Masters.
I believe so.
Yeah, all right, here we go. Southern Bastards number 19 came out January 24th, 2018. So it has been a year. Oh, a year and 2 months. So, okay. It's 20 even solicited?
So there. I mean, it's one of those things. I think Image is still a viable universe that's coming out.
Oh, no, 20 was the last issue, May 2018.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm off by 4 months. 3 months. 2 months. Sorry, it's off by 2 months. 10 months ago, we'd gotten a book. But again, we're 10 months.
Do you think, though, if people are hearing this, I mean, not probably other comic book readers are mostly in agreement with us, but do you think it's a little selfish to be like, where's my book? Rather than expecting them to be busy?
I agree. You know what? You're 100% right. I am being selfish. I'm being greedy. But unfortunately...
But they made me a promise.
But like with Rick Remender, Black Science, that book came out month to month, no problems. Deadly Class used to be a month to month thing. I'm thinking Rick Remender because that man was putting out books every which way. He had one in every different genre, all sorts of things. He was pulling a Jeff Lemire, but now all of a sudden he's gone. And I know he's doing a TV show. Respect, you need to make money where it's going to be. Maybe your book isn't making as much money, but your book can't make money if you're not making the book.
I think it's fair to fans doing what Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples did, saying, hey, we're not coming back to this for a while.
They didn't even give us a date, so that they were
Yeah.
like, hey, I don't know when it's going to be. Which is, I respect that. Be like, okay.
But that's better than nothing.
It's better. It's also better than say, we're going to take a break. We'll be back this month and change the way we're putting out this book, Lazarus, and then not come back.
Yeah. Like, holy
where's
fuck.
that book?
You just wait all summer for it, and like you're going to get this new...
Hey, we have this mini that's going to take place in between. That way you don't lose an issue. And then we're like, that mini's been
We
over
come back for
what?
2 issues that has nothing to do with Forever, and then we're going to go...
I think those issues were good, though.
They were
good.
They were really good about Jonah, but like it's like...
But also,
Those
like,
almost could have been part of that spinoff series.
where's this quarterly book at? So
Yeah.
pretty soon they're going to be back to back, and it's going to be 2 monthly books, and then we'll have to wait a quarter. So,
Well, at this rate, it's going to be a year before we get Lazarus.
maybe just release the whole
by
thing at
May.
once. Speaking of, let's go talk with. The next topic I have is Marvel. Do you think they're making a resurgence? They finally learned and they have better books coming out now? Because I can count a great number of books, I think, from them now. Where before, I think we were almost done with them completely. Daredevil's great. Captain America, Black Panther, Hulk's pretty good right now. Spider-Man. I think they've kind of...
I think anybody with that new reboot has been pretty strong. I think the only ones I'm not a fan of are like the big team books. Like any X-Men books, the Avenger books weren't that great.
I'll agree with that. Those both seem like the Avengers I don't like just because and that's the thing. The Avengers thing I feel like got ruined a little bit by those movies. It's too jokey.
Yeah.
Like when we read those Jason Aaron ones, there's too many jokes in there. Like what happened to the Jonathan Hickman? There was jokes, but also there was some sort of like gravitas to it. Like it's a big book for a reason.
But all the characters are the same in that book, unfortunately. And the newer Jason Aaron Avengers, they all have a sense of humor. They all think that they're hilarious. Where, no offense, if you're listening to our show, I think things are funny that these guys don't think are funny, and most of the time they're laughing at things I think are stupid. So I'm not all the characters are the same. As much on the show, we're not all the same. As tonight, you've obviously heard Civil War between Marvin and Garrett. We don't believe in things.
Well, when a team gets together, you think they have a mission. They're not getting together to be like, hey, let's get a couple of drinks and just fucking hang out. Oh, wait,
Avengers
we gotta save the day, too. Yeah.
I'll just throw it out there willy-nilly.
But Spider-Man, I think, has been great.
Spider-Man's been
Hulk.
great. Yeah.
I think that Fantastic Four so far, I've enjoyed it.
Once they came down once they beat whatever the girl's name was, once they came down to Earth again and were establishing
Guardians
that they
of the
were back
Galaxy?
together. Guardians has been great. Amazing Spider-Man is, like you said, fantastic. Immortal Hulk had a few weird issues, but overall has been
Venom, for the
pretty
most
great.
part, has been good.
Yep.
yes. I don't know. I'm kind of getting burnt down on the Venom stuff for some reason. Doesn't seem like it's progressed as much as I want.
But in terms of like where they
Yes,
were
where
a
it
year
is, it's
ago,
fine.
I think Marvel had ever since they got the new editor in chief. I think they've done better books.
Yeah.
When it feels like they have more of a promise to the readers that we're not just going to put out stuff other than the X-Men Avengers things. Everybody else kind of made a silent promise to us going, I'm going to put out new content, new things that are interesting, and actually make you like these characters like you used to.
And I'm trying my damn best to get excited for War of the Realms, but I just can't come to think about getting that book. I can't do it.
I want to get it, though. I want to get it just
I
because
don't
it had
want
been
it.
5
I
years.
also feel. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's been 5 years or 12 years that we've been building up to this book. A part of me wants to get it.
But I feel like it's going to be a giant letdown.
But that's the thing is I also know it's been 12 years that we built up to it. No way it's going to be like Unworthy Thor. It's not going to live up to the expectation that I thought we were going to have.
I also feel like they've gotten away from making except for that Avengers thing, making their books exactly like the movie counterparts. Like that Black Panther book is in space. Like it's nothing to do with those movies at all. Captain America, they were, for a while there when he got popular in the movies, they gave him a new costume and they were afraid to show him the old costume because they didn't want people to see that and be like, that costume looks stupid. But now, like this issue, the cover is that old costume. So like
The scales, the wings.
I think they kind of gone
changed
back
Captain
a little bit.
Marvel, though, to have long hair because Captain Marvel in this movie has long hair.
She's had long hair before.
Yeah, but you don't just do that because you're like, well, she just wants to wear her hair down.
But at least when she wears her helmet or her headdress, at least she still looks like she's supposed to.
Yeah, so I think so far they're doing a good job. I like to see a little bit more tightening up on that X-Men thing and Avengers, but overall, it's better at least than a year ago. I remember a year ago we like 2 books from them.
Their chance will be if Wolverine actually hits off the ground running in his own book.
No, he's going to hit the ground and be dead for another couple of years.
What do you also? Let's go over to the other side. DC, are they slowly having less great books? I think for a while we were excited for their Justice League stuff, but I think we're out of all of them except for Odyssey.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman has been great recently, and Batman.
I think it's more so when these great storytellers that they have run out of story to tell and they bring in new teams. That's when it sucks. But I think, I mean, like Shazam came out with Jeff Johns and Dale Eaglesham. Like,
That's good.
That's amazing.
I feel like their
big event team books are suffering.
I think they're. Oh, really? I was going to say the opposite. I feel like Heroes in Crisis is great.
Well, he's talking about
Justice League
Jail
and-
Dark.
You said event books.
No, he
I
said
did
big
not.
team books.
I said big team books.
I can remember.
Get your headphones.
Do
on.
it.
But like I think the stuff like Doomsday Clock and Heroes in Crisis are really great. The things they're doing outside, like Martian Manhunter's been good. Like the stuff that doesn't have to be in continuity, but stuff that's like really DC lore heavy, like the Justice League, I think that's where it suffers.
Yeah.
Where they aren't allowed, they're like trying to do an overall story, and when there's a tie-in and stuff like that, I don't think it really works out.
But the weird thing is, like, I'm going to jab at Scott Snyder's that I don't remember if it was you guys I was talking to or if it was someone else that said, I'm wondering how much DC has got their fingers in that story where it can't just be a fun JL book and it has to be this big world building thing that no one asked for. Where all I really want, I just want these 7 people to come together and beat up a big baddie. Doesn't have to be a world ender. Could just be Lex Luthor happen to be being an extra
Darkseid.
douche. Sure. You know, they fought him in the first run of New 52. They can do it again.
I think they just want to kind of do what Hickman did with the Avengers and try to get this
Parallax.
huge story, but it's just not
But that's the
working out.
thing, is that not everyone can be a Hickman. Not everyone can be a Bendis when it comes to writing
Brainiac.
Spider-Man. Not everyone can be... Shut up. Not everyone can be a Tom King writing Batman. Y'all, hate that word. Y'all is not a word.
Anyways,
Everybody doesn't have to be the same writer. You can write your own thing. That's the whole thing that's fun about comics is writing your own books.
I feel like the books that they have are great are right now at least fewer than Marvel has. Like Batman's great. The action you said was great, and Wonder Woman so far you said has been great. Aquaman I didn't cut up with, so I'm not sure.
Good.
But then like is Nightwing still good?
it's getting better. It did take a huge dip in quality after he got shot in the head. Like,
Green Arrow? Where's that at?
drop that. Colin
Oh, it's
Kelly
what the other
Lansing
team
around
was
that.
on it, dropped it.
They're ever on a book? Alvider's aim bitches.
Like those, the smaller books for them, I think those are the ones that need more talent on them. So, Green Lantern has been good so far. Grant Morrison, but also like it's doing its own thing.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. Like when they do their own thing, it's fine. And Marvel, I think they're doing a better job right now of having stuff that feels like it's part of the universe. So, yeah, I think they're doing okay. I wish they would figure out their online thing. If they actually want DC Universe to actually have everything, or if they actually want to support it or not. They did add a bunch, right? They added a bunch
They've added
recently.
a lot of content.
So, and they recently added a bunch of Comics Unlimited. So, when I think back about past stuff I want to read, a lot of it is DC, but DC also has a lot of those big event things. Not a big event, but big milestone kind of books where Marvel really doesn't. It's more like, oh, I want to read Captain America. Whereas DC, you're like, I want to read Kingdom Come. You know what I mean? There's more things like that in the past. Gotham Central. What's a Batman story? Where Earthquake?
Oh, No Man's Land.
No Man's Land. Like there's like key big things. But
I
in
don't know.
Marvel, you're like, oh, I'm going to read that when Chris Claremont was an X-Men. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm excited for, like past DC stuff. I don't know. Maybe I just thought I'm getting a little bit out of the superhero thing. We'll see. But then again, for me, and I think for all of us at the table, except, I mean, there are certain characters you guys get just to get Superman. But I mean, like for us, I think it's always been about creators.
Yeah.
I guess Turtles. I was like, no, I don't have that. I don't like characters.
Turtles.
Turtles.
But yeah, so like the creators, I feel like there's like some that excite me, but there's nobody right now that I'm like blown away with. Like, there's nobody fresh right now.
Mhm.
It's just people that have been doing that for a while. So I'm not a fresh person on the market. Danny Keats is kind of, but Danny Keats is more established now. Nobody fresh. I want a fresh guy.
Good luck with that. All spoiled and rotten.
Wednesday Comics 605@gmail.com. Email us. Let us know how you keep up with your books. Do you got a system? You got to use an app? You guys use what do you use to keep yourself in check? I probably use some sort of organizational app to do that.
Probably just use this thing called a pen and paper. And
No,
write fucking
that's
down.
fucking
lose the paper.
1952. Why
Well,
would
it
you
would
know,
work better than what you're doing right now, which is forgetting all the books you're reading.
Yeah, I would lose the notebook. I'm going all digital now, baby.
Isn't there a notebook on your phone?
Yeah, notepad.
Yeah,
I use a notepad on my phone.
I need something that springs out at me when I open it every single time.
So we need to get you a box that's got a fist that just punches you in the face.
At Alex Fistrella, he's on Twitter. At
I'm on Twitter.
Karat2188. At Marvin.Sowero.
Is it an underscore?
Underscore. Jesus Christ.
Dude, I do not remember your own handle.
I don't know. I had to re-sign into it because I got a new phone. So that was fun. And try to remember the password for
was
that
fun.
and the Wednesday Comics thing. So WednesdayComics.com. Make sure to subscribe to the show. Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher. Radio, and Spotify. Make sure you share the show with your friends and go to facebook.com/Wednesday Comics Podcast. Like the page and share that with your friends also. rootsoftheswampthing.com. Make sure you also follow him on Facebook.com/rootsoftheswampthing at DC World Swampy. Rootsoftheswampthing.com. Holland Files number 3. Now out. I'm not sure if it's sold out. Go ahead and contact him or go to his website to figure out if that's still the case. But like I said, Swamp Thing, 100-page special. It's getting its own thing at Walmart. So make sure you pick that up. And Swamp Thing TV show coming later this year. Right? May?
It's supposed to come here in
Summer?
February, so yeah, I think it's May now.
February?
Well, Doom Patrol's
Doom
going on
Patrol.
right now.
And then right afterwards, I think it's Swamp.
Yep.
I'm excited for Doom Patrol. Whenever that's ended, done, I'm going to do that free trial and watch Doom Patrol. See how it is. So I heard it's great.
Yeah, I've heard it's
I heard it's
Corey,
fantastic.
hashtag GuessOS1's been watching it, and he says he loves it.
He is?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
that's
He
what
doesn't know. He doesn't know anything about Doom Patrol, and he says it's amazing.
But he likes Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I know.
Is that Robot Man?
From the Mummy.
Yeah. Robot Man.
Was it Robot Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have Cyborg.
That I'm kind of curious about how that works.
Cyborg's in the Doom Patrol in that show where he normally isn't part of that group, but they decided to add him, and I heard it's good. So we'll see. YouTube, find us on YouTube at Wednesday Comics. Make sure to search for that. 605-215-1849. Always drop us a line. Let us know, what do you think about the State of the Union here? Image, Marvel, DC, which one you at? Which one is your main books come out of, right? Where's your main? I think right now for me, it might be Marvel, which is very curious. This week especially. A lot of Marvel this week. I got some DC. DC is obviously the lesser one. Image and Marvel are fighting back-to-back for me for the number one for me right now. DC, I have like Batman, Heroes in Crisis, Doom, State Clock, Wonder Woman I picked up. I haven't read it yet, though. I think it's it. Right?
Really?
I don't think.
Green Lantern?
Oh, Green Lantern. Sorry.
Dumb shit.
5. Garrett, we have a book club.
Wednesday Comics, League of Extraordinary Gentle People, proudly presents
Criminal, Volume 1. That is Ed Rubicker, Sean Phillips, Val Staples on colors. This is the first volume of Criminal. Criminal is back, a resurgence. Speaking of resurgence, Ed Rubicker is bringing it back. It's 2 issues in, I believe. But this is the first volume, so we're going to go back and learn about, I think, is it Tracy Lawless in that one, or is that Coward?
That's Coward.
I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
Lawless is 2.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So, Criminal Volume 1, we're going to read about that and get a little taste of it. Garrett's never read it before, but we have, so we're going to re-examine it knowing now what we know and kind of get excited for this new ongoing, which I am super excited for. So
April 4th. Get it read.
April 4th, that's
If you
when
get your taxes done, you can use your tax refund to get it or just read it.
605-215-1849. If you want to get it on Comixology, there was a sale actually when we first announced it. I don't know why. We weren't in cahoots, but there was a sale, a criminal sale. I think it was more because that first issue came out and they had a criminal sale. 50% off at the time. I don't know what it is now, but make sure to go to your comic book shop and online, Comixology, or wherever you get your comics, and see if it's on sale again.
I just want to make one shout out. We've been talking about a lot of movies tonight. You should listen to Backlot 605.
Yeah.
Friend of the show there.
Casey. And
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord.
That's what his nickname was at work.
I'm sure they'll talk about Captain Marvel this week. Are they going to the same screen we are?
I don't know if they're going to the same showing, but I know they're talking about it next week.
All right. So we will be too. So maybe download their show, listen to our show, and listen back to back and see who's better.
Wow.
You know what, guys? Good week this week. Yeah. A lot of good books. Like Eric was saying, sometimes you just got to start reading one. You get the joy of comics back in your blood.
It was like a decent 7 week.
Especially after a shit week outside, that stupid weather. When's the snow going to end? We're in March, and I think we got 5 inches over this weekend, I heard.
Maybe in July we can dig our way out of the snow. I don't know.
You know, spring's coming up here, March 21st, and it sure feels like it. 21 days away from spring. I see people saying, "Hey, only 20 more days to spring." Doesn't mean the shit's going to melt. Like this is
It doesn't just decimate.
It doesn't just turn over. We get this polar vortex. I saw on the tomorrow, the next day, it's supposed to be fucking cold again. How many times are you gonna have this polar vortex before
it's -3 right now?
I did see on Saturday 32. That made me excited. So,
So we're going to be
Heat wave.
meeting the bar with freezing.
yeah.
Hey,
If
but
not
you know what?
going
It's going to be
over.
warm.
I think we're below freezing, below average, about 20 degrees, it said, last time I checked. So,
Sounds about right.
sounds about right. Usually we have about 30s right now. But
February was a cold
today was a
mistress.
-7, I thought, or -11 around there. So
Wow.
delicious. It makes you want to sit inside and read some comics. Like I said, in your blood. If you don't know about the joy of comics, or you know somebody who doesn't have the joy in comics in their blood, make sure you introduce them to something. Criminal Volume 1's a good start. Action Comics 1000, good start. Alex, what's a good start for them? Sounds about right. We need Spider-Man #1. That came out with Nick Spencer. Let's go back and read those.
Glad you said it for me.
Fill it up in a needle, stick it in their arm, and get them hooked on comics, because that's what we're here for. Because not only are we hooked on comics, I'm hooked on
By the way,
phonics.
the FDA is telling us not to endorse drugs. So.
That's not drugs, baby. That is all natural, and it is good for you. Just like I said, I'm hooked on phonics also, learning how to read for the first time, and it's helping me out with these comic books. So,
Oh, did you read Descender on Hooked on Films?
For Wednesday Comics, I've been Marvin.
I am Alex.
I'm Garrett.
Hey, everyone. Keep turning those pages.